Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the Basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Joe.
Hello, everyone. Everyone being nobody in the chat as of yet, but you never know who's lurking around and watching. Sometimes that'll happen as well. As you can see, no Rob this evening. Rob is at a business meeting, trade show. I'm not sure. He's out busy doing something. So I am the lovely host for this evening. Also, as always, with me, Daryl, the Northern Vinyl Guy. Daryl, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right. I'm actually doing something unusual today. I normally don't drink Frappuccino.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking a Frappuccino tonight.
Well, there you go. So you'll be nice and buzzed by the end of the show then, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And joining us both for the first time, we'll start with Monica. Monica of Monty Muse. Is that the correct pronunciation of that?
My friends used to call me Monty. And
Yeah.
then, I'm trying to think of an unusual name. I thought I love inspiring people. So Monty Muse.
Perfect. That's awesome. So thank you very much for joining us. And then a young man who I've had on with me before when we were talking about concerts. Charlie, play me something. Been a minute or so since we've had a chat. I called you real late, said, hey, can you come on? And thanks so much for doing it. How have you been?
I'm good. I am lacking in the YouTube game right now. I have not the joke is my channel's just turned into an end of year list channel, which is kind of I don't think I had anything uploaded between my best of 23 and 24, and it's looking like it's going to be the same way for 25. But no, life is just getting too busy. It's too busy. It's a shame. I want to do more YouTube stuff, so this is maybe a good way to kind of get me itching to put more time into it now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I haven't done much on my channel for a long time. I've got my store channel, so I do a little bit, obviously, on there. Monica, I think I saw you're maybe taking a little bit of a break from posting some stuff.
I just figured, you know what? It's time to take a break and then come in strong in 2026.
Yeah.
So busy with like holidays and all that stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. And it's not that I wasn't enjoying doing the videos themselves, but I really, really enjoyed this a whole lot more. And it's a little bit less of a commitment because it is just a couple hours on the Wednesday nights, or if I jump on with someone else, it's just that. So I really enjoyed this because this is personal. This is much better. I like doing the videos and talking about it and putting them together, and not so much the editing, but I never edit anything anyway. Everybody gets the full blown whatever Joe says comes through in the end. But so this is where I've been focusing lately. But Daryl, you're still doing a fair amount of videos. You've done a few in the last bit. What's going on your channel? And good evening, everyone that is now here. Trevor, Richard, John's with us, and Lucas. Nice to see you.
And Joe, the live stream is like zoomed in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Live preview. I'm very techie. So
yeah, no, for sure. I don't know why it would be, but it's because I've got.
It's looking all right on desktop here.
Oh, yeah, I suppose because this is new now on the vertical on the phones. Yeah, on the phone it's new, and I'm not sure if obviously
but on the desktop it looks great.
A setting, but desktop it's okay.
Maybe ask
yeah, I got to try and figure. I guess I got to figure out the vertical one for those on the phone because you're right. We're just seeing your eyes, everybody's eyes, Daryl's hands, and my whatever's going on here. So I see exactly what you mean now. I'm just not positive how to change it. Let me work on that. I thought I had it off, but I guess it's on now. So remove from stage. Anyway, I'm not going to screw with it. I'm going to leave it for now. So if you're watching on the phone, give me a couple minutes and I'll try and figure it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
But I appreciate that. So with all of that said, Daryl, what's going on? Talk for a minute.
Yeah, I had taken like 2 or 3 weeks off of making videos, and then there's all these threads, and I was just like, you know what, I really wanted to do them. So I just mashed out. I've got 2 more that I want to do. Like everyone else, it's just life. My wife's out of town, so I have a little bit of time. Although I'm doing daddy daycare these days, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I apologize if you are watching on phones. I'm not exactly sure how to fix that. That's something new, and I should have just said no. because now they have it where it is multi. I can't remember what exactly it's called, but so those watching on desktop see it as it is, and those watching on vertical, it's supposed to format it a little bit better. But so I'm not. Again, I apologize if you're watching on the phone. Give me a little bit, maybe I'll be able to figure it out. But for now, instead of me putzing around with that, let's so not doing any videos, but when you are doing videos, Monica, for those that maybe have never had a chance to see your channel, I know what's on it, but tell the world the short version-ish of whatever it is that you would like to say about your channel.
Well, when I first started, I had only 20 records, and my other friend who's a vinyl collector in real life, he said, don't feel bad. You only have like a little bit of records. Just make it about the journey of discovering music. And so that's kind of what my channel's been about, is like, I missed out on a lot of music and I love discovering it through records. So for a while I was finding cool stuff at the Goodwill, and based on the cover or based on like, oh, I heard that this might be a good one, I would get it and experience it and like it. And if I didn't like it, then I would resell it on eBay for a few bucks. And that's just kind of been my flow and my trend, and kind of figuring out like the deeper music. I mean, because I come from the 2010 era of music where it's very electronic, very like dream poppy. That's the stuff I like. And then so going back in time. So right now I'm in 1967. Going back in time has been really fun to kind of see how music evolved. And I'm a rock person, so I love rock music. I love electric guitars. And then I can kind of go a little folky with like Bob Dylan and acoustic. So kind of going through my interest, and I'm kind of connecting the dots now, which is so cool. It's so fun because I got into the Beatles. So then I'm learning about those people in that crowd. And so it's been mainly discovering music and experiencing it through the records.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Again, I know you just said that you've only got a couple of videos in the last little while and they've been year enders, but and you told me you bought a house, Charlie, so that's been taking up a lot of time as well. And you know, we have to live our lives as well as have our fun on YouTube. But so when you do get back into it, if you choose to, what's the focus? Because again, you know I've seen some of your stuff, but I don't know if there was somewhere you were going and then life took a turn for now.
I never really figured out where I wanted to go with it. It's a weird mix of several different things. I have one vinyl tag video from a couple years ago. One thing I wanted to keep doing, which I'm realizing now, is you progress in age, you have a lot less free time. Was my marathon sessions where I'd sit down and listen to the entire discography of an artist. And I kind of wanted to lean into that, continue kind of doing making it as painful as possible. The two that I had done are Weezer and Nickelback.
Oh, cool.
And I was just trying to work up the nerve to do, say, a Maroon 5 or like an Imagine Dragons, or just something that would really, really hurt. But finding that 6 hours or so to have uninterrupted is really, really difficult.
Yep.
But one thing I do kind of want to do now that I bought my first house. My girlfriend and I are still in the process of figuring everything out, moving everything in, and I have an empty bedroom for my office. Luckily I work a hybrid job, so I get to work from home a couple days a week, so I kind of have an excuse to make it nice. I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple videos on some DIY stuff, setting up my record collection, like a built-in kind of setting up my room, what gear I'm going to set up and wear, something like that. So I might try and lean into that, because then it almost is like, I get to make a YouTube video while I'm doing something I'd be doing anyway. So might do something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. That's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, we all have our journey on here. We all started in a certain place and we all moved to a different place. And look, Daryl, now there's 3 of us in this stream. I should say only 3 that like Nickelback. Monica,
I was gonna say there is somebody else out there that seems to like Nickelback, so that's good. I get razzed every time I wear that T-shirt. Every time.
Haven't gotten to Nickelback yet? No. Well, there you go. Fair enough. All right. So the reason that we are here this evening, or the topic du jour, is happy. There's been a lot of negativity going on in the world as of late. A little bit in my life. Nothing serious, but some things that have happened or whatever. And, this is the state of the world. So I wanted to put out some positive vibes tonight. So that's what we're going to do. happy songs, happy albums, happy bands, and whatever they make you happy for, it doesn't matter. Like I've picked a couple here. People are going to go, well, that's not exactly happy music, but it makes me happy. So that's all. That's what matters. I mean, I want everybody to be happy, but that's why I've chosen that I have chosen. But we'll start off with our special guests this evening. I don't know who cares, who wants to go first, what the deal is, but who wants to go first? Monica, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right, there you go. Okay,
so speaking of the Beatles, I've been into their discography as they've, 70s and 80s. And someone that was introduced to me was Jeff Lynne. I had no idea who he was. I was just like, they keep talking about this guy who's producing their music, and like, who is he? And little did I know he was from the Electric Light Orchestra. And so like I put it together. I'm like, all his stuff that he produces, I like. Like he did Flaming Pie for Paul McCartney, and then he produced George Harrison's Cloud 9. And so I'm like, I always loved Mr. Blue Sky. Like my husband would always play that song. And so like, actually a subscriber sent this to me, Ed. He's one of my like favorite subscribers. He's always supporting every video. And I guess there was a big sale at Walmart at some point, and like this was like half off. And so he sent this to me. And so today I just took a listen to it because I love Mr. Blue Sky. And I'm like, that song just always puts me in the right mood. And the whole album, like, it's just very fun. Very, like, you could tell he was having fun producing it and making it. He talked about like a piano that would like talk. And so he kind of used that instrument to kind of make his talking voice piano music, which is really neat. Now modern music, I'm sure they use all that, sort of computerized stuff. But in the 70s when he's making it, like, I don't know what it was like when you guys first, if you heard this album, like, was it weird? Was it new? I don't know. But listening to it now, it always puts me in the right mood. There you go.
Yeah.
Side A, side B is so good. I mean, the songs, I wrote some of my favorite songs on here. Like Telephone was really fun. And all of them. They're just so fun to listen to.
They are. Like when I decided the topic, and as soon as I decided the topic, I went Mr. Blue Sky, because it's just that type of song. You put it on and it will instantly, I would think, hopefully it will instantly make you happy. Now there's a lot of other fantastic ELO music, but that was possibly the impetus of this show tonight, Mr. Blue Sky. It's really very, very good. So that's a great choice. That's a fantastic choice. So, all right, Charlie, you are up, my friend. There you go. And look at that. I even figured out how to get to the big square.
It's a shame Rob isn't here, because I'm going Oasis first. Definitely maybe. And I will say there's probably a part of me that part of the reason this brings me so much joy is because I was lucky enough to see them on the reunion tour.
Did you?
I saw them it was night 3 at Wembley. I think it was night 3. And it was unbelievable, absolutely amazing. But also just because I think this album is full of just really positive, happy songs. I mean, there's a handful of they're not all like super, they aren't psyched about every single one of them. Like Slide Away, obviously not the happiest song, but like Live Forever, if I remember correctly, was Noel's reaction to hearing Nirvana's oh my god, what's the song called? I Hate Myself and Want to Die. So just like I remember I saw an interview and Noel was like, I'm not having any of that. Just his response to grunge in general, I guess. And then like song like Supersonic, opening line, I Need to Be Myself, Can't Be No One Else. Just like there's a bit of like a positivity, like this is me, and I'm pretty psyched about that. Rock and Roll Star, just like the album's just filled with just like borderline, especially considering like how small they were for about 2 weeks before the first album came out, because it was an immediate jump up, obviously, right? Like they rocketed straight away, but like for that little bit of time, and maybe I'm confusing confidence with happiness, but like, or even cockiness, really, but like there's a lot of positivity in the album within the songs, and I think just the fact that I got to see them on the tour this kind of adds to that with this. I mean, personally, I think Morning Glory is my favorite album of theirs, but I think for within this context of this discussion, I think definitely maybe is my top pick for that.
Perfect. Yeah. You know what? I mean, again, there's going to be a couple albums in here that are solely based on the fact that I saw them live. And when I the album, it makes me think of that experience. And that had to be fantastic, especially in Wembley. I mean,
oh yeah,
almost where you want to see him. Like you want to see Billy Joel in Madison Square Gardens, and you want to see Oasis at Wembley Stadium, right? You want to see certain bands in certain locations because that's their spot, kind of. So that's fantastic. Yeah. That's great. And Rob will watch back at some point. And there is, let's see here. I'm forgetting my hostly duties. There is a Rob here, really the Rob Walker's here, though, not our Rob. But but you know, you probably that'll work too. So and Richard's here. Lots are here again. Curtis is here. Curtis was going to join us this evening, but he has got final report cards coming out, which Daryl, you probably have coming up too, right?
Oh man, I feel sorry for. No, I just did my report cards last week. I feel sorry for you, Curtis.
Yeah.
Best time of the year, report card time.
It's favorite time for the teacher and the student. So, all right, Nickelback, have at her. Maybe you have some Nickelback in there. I don't know.
No, actually, I don't have Nickelback on vinyl yet. I want to get their 20. What is it? The 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary of that. The one album there. I can't remember what it's called. They're releasing it this year coming up, I think. It's the one that has all their songs on it. But maybe I'll look into it. I think it's like a limited edition thing. But you mentioned like the whole grunge thing at the beginning of the 90s, and those of you that have been watching, I guess, my channel and watching the show, you'll know that I like quirky music, and you're going to notice that I've got a lot of just different stuff that's coming up, and I agree with both, you know, Charlie and Monica that really the term happiness is all. It's relative. It's whatever makes you happy. It could be cockiness. It could be whatever it is. And I think for me, it's quirkiness and just songs that pump me up, I guess you would say. Sure. So I'm going to start off with pretty much my favorite band. They're just weird and they're just quirky. And I think everything about this just screams funny and happy. Yep. And that's Primus. And these are just guys in the alternative stream, right? Like this is post-grunge, but mainly alternative. And I mean, what band other than Primus is going to redo the entire Charlie and the Willy Wonka and the Charlie Chocolate Factory soundtrack, right, in this quirky way? And of course, the insert is just them as a bunch of penguins on the back, and it's just funny music. And they leave the lyrics to interpretation. I mean, I remember when this came out, Winona's Big Brown Beaver caused all kinds of problems because they thought it was about something else. And it's just about a beaver.
Yeah.
Just an animal, right? It's
the animal with the big tail, to clarify.
Yeah, they just they just leave it to interpretation. And then they got like little banjos and country gigs. And, you know, I've talked about Les Claypool before where I think he's the best bassist that's ever lived, and I think that's just because of the time that I grew up. And I was corrected. Rick Beato actually interviewed him about a month ago, and he doesn't do slap bass. He doesn't actually call it slap bass. I forget what he calls it now. But he actually corrected Rick Beato and says, I don't know how to play slap bass. I always thought it was slap bass, but just quick stuff. I mean, and they went to Woodstock 94 and they just took it, getting pelted by mud balls and everything. And they're just a funny band. And every time I listen to them, it just makes me happy. Just funny.
That's stuff. Good. That's what we're here for. Whatever it is that makes you happy, and we listen to it because that's what it's about, right? I mean, there's times where I guess I don't know if I'm ever angry and then I decide I want to go and listen to something. If I'm not too happy, but I want to be a little bit happier, definitely listening to something makes that, I think, happen a little bit more. So I don't know, maybe there's other times where you are angry and then there is something you want to go put on. I don't know if is that a thing? I don't know. I mean, that's not the show tonight, obviously. We're be happy, damn it, Joe. But so
well, for me, I got to be a little bit happy, and then I want to turn it up, and then so I put on a happy album. Like, okay, yeah,
Perfect. There you go.
I
Exactly.
just gotta be a little bit.
Just a little bit, and then
I'm a little bit sad. I'll put on a sad album. I'm like, okay, that was fun. Now snap out of it,
And there's certainly times where I want to chill out a little bit, which is different than wanting to be sad, right? Like there's times where there is specifics. Okay, I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try and stay awake, and I'm going to put something on to listen to. There's certainly that. Trevor, I Get Wet by Andrew WK. When it's time to party, we will party hard. That is fantastic. I don't have that one, but that's good. If party's in the title, that's probably what you want. So let's see. Tokyo Record Style, Brian, hello. Thanks for joining us. Brian's at work this morning. Also asked if Brian wanted to come and join us tonight as well. We could have had a heck of a round table tonight. But anyway, what else did I want to say? This one, Richard, greets, Curtis. There you go. All that. Hello, Brian. Brian from Tokyo Record Style. If you don't watch Brian's channel, guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not, but he's fantastic. And I'm not saying that just because he showed up. I would have said it if he wasn't here as well. But I love him driving around in Tokyo and all the different parts of Japan and going and just his style. It's very, very good. So, folks, if you're out there, make sure you check out Tokyo Record Style because it's really, really fun, along with everybody's channel here. So, all right, my turn. I don't know if I don't necessarily need to make myself big, but what the heck? Let's do it anyway because I figured out how to do it. So I've gone with green this evening because green is the color because I am a football fan and my home team is going to the Grey Cup, which is the Super Bowl of the Canadian Football League in Winnipeg, Manitoba next week. Actually, this Saturday this Sunday is the game. And my son and I are going, so I'm really looking forward to it. But the room's lit up in green tonight for the Riders. So in case anybody was wondering, I don't know if anybody cares or not, and I'm bothering my cat. So anyway.
We won't talk about the Red Blacks this year.
No. Next year though, because didn't they just signed away Dinwiddie, right? So coach and GM, we'll see. Okay, up next, mine is going to be one from high school because it brings back fond memories. High school for me was a long time ago, not that long, but long enough anyway. And it's a band called The Monks, and I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Daryl. I think we've talked about them before, but
I've never really listened to them, but yes, we've talked about them for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or not, but punk, reggae, just fun for the most part. A couple of the names on the album are, and this isn't why I like it, but "Drugs in My Pocket." It's kind of a reggae funny song. It's good if you listen to it. But "Johnny B. Rotten" instead of "Johnny B. Good." "Nice Legs," "Shame About Her Face." It's a really, really fun, good album. If you get a chance, check it out. Listen to a couple of the songs. If you like a couple of the songs, I think you'll be fairly confident and happy with the rest of it as well. They only did 2 albums. They were only around, and this was 19. This is going to date me a little bit because this was high school. If this album didn't get played at a party, the party wasn't any good when I was back in high school. 1979, I graduated in 82, 3. So this was grade 9, grade 10 parties at Evan Hardy Collegiate in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. But the Monks and Bad Habits, like I said, they only did a couple albums. The other album was not all that great, but really, really fun, good stuff. Reminds me of high school, but I listened to it again today, and it's still, beyond the fact that it reminds me of high school, it's still a very fun and good album. I like it. So, and Brian, I won't stop because it's true, man. If you have a great channel, I don't have a problem saying it. So there you go. Okay. I'm saying I'm a lot more than I should. I really want to bring up real quick because I have been to Amoeba Records, but I was in the Amoeba in San Francisco. You were in the Amoeba, Monica, in LA, right?
Yeah, I've been to one in San Francisco too. That one is so fun.
Yeah, I bet. So, and then Charlie, I'm not sure what you guys, I mean, I've been to a couple in Ottawa that were pretty decent, but I'm not sure. Is there a big, I guess Amoeba being the biggest that I was ever in. Anyway. So I've been in some other ones, but that was the biggest one in San Francisco. Have you been to anything? I guess if you were over at Wembley, if you were over in London, you probably did a little bit of digging over there. Did you not?
I didn't, unfortunately. I didn't really have a ton of free time. So my girlfriend's originally from England, so it was a lot of just like hanging out with her family and a lot of like it was a pretty tight 2 weeks while we were over there.
Yeah.
But as far as Ottawa goes, I get like the only chain that's kind of survived is Sunrise.
Yeah.
But my favorite is a little place. If anyone's in the Ottawa area, go check out Odds and Sods on Clyde Avenue. It's my go-to.
I think
number one.
maybe I was there a couple years ago. Monica, did you ever make it to that one in 29 Palms? Because we talked a little bit about that. I think I suggested that you go in
Palm Springs.
Or Palm Springs. Yeah, there's another one in 29 Palms if you go that far as well. But yeah, there was a couple in Palm Springs that were pretty cool.
No, I haven't been back since I last went.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, they have some good ones out there.
And Daryl, I know. Shut up, Joe. Right? It's like stop. But
no, I mean, I try to go to record stores whenever I can. I can't remember the name of it. So when I was in hospital there back in June, and I went with my friend who lives in Stittsville, Charlie, you know where that is.
Oh yeah.
He brought me into Canada actually for a little bit, and there was a store that I went to in a little mall that was there, and it was really nice. I can't remember the name of it. I bought some records while I was there, decent prices. So I try.
Legend Records, maybe.
What's that?
Legend Records, maybe.
It might have been Legend Records. Yeah, forget the name of it.
If it's in a mall in Canada, I think that's probably the most likely. Yeah,
possibly. When I was younger, though, I actually had I actually was fortunate enough. I got to go to Sam the Record Man in Toronto. When I was a kid. And I remember my dad brought me there once or twice in the late 80s, maybe. And I was just fascinated by that store. I mean, it was like 4 or 5 floors of stuff. It was just crazy in there. And then obviously it closed down years ago. But yeah, no, anytime I get a chance. If you're in North Bay, though, there's a store called Autumn Records in North Bay. And that one's really nice. It's really good.
Cool. There you go.
I got to head up to Sudbury for work in a couple months, so maybe I'll make a pit stop on the way.
In the Sudbury,
I mean, the prices, you got to watch the prices there, but the selection for North Bay is actually quite good. It's right on Main Street. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, look at that. Your turn. You're up next. It's your turn. I did that on purpose. No.
All right. Beach Boys has to be one of the ones that just always puts me in a good mood. So I have a few of theirs, but this compilation is like one of the first ones I ever got. I mean, it was probably a few bucks. And the one song that always snaps me out of a mood is Don't Worry, Baby. I just think it's the sweetest song. And I sing it to my kids, and they love singing it as well. So Beach Boys is one of the bands. I play them in the summertime, and then I put them away. So they come out in the summer for me, the Beach Boys.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, again, I think if you listen to the Beach Boys and can't get in a good mood, then maybe you're just really not trying. So, but that's good. Record Hound, good evening. Can't see the panel. I'm not sure why exactly that is. If you're watching on a phone, because others that were watching on a phone, it was okay. Monica's, it wasn't. So I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So I don't know. And no response to a stupid comment. I'm looking back. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, the lyrics was a porcupine. Perfect. There you go. So, but again, my apologies. I'm not sure why that it is not working for you, because I mean, I can see us. I know that doesn't help anybody else, but I can see us on my desktop, and then on the vertical, you can kind of see when it's a single person, you can see okay, but when it's all 4, then it's a little better now. I'm not positive. So anyway, I apologize, Record Hound, but I can't necessarily fix it at the moment. So
like that.
All right.
Record Hound, yes, I knew the beaver was a porcupine, but I didn't want to spoil it for everyone.
Oh, there you go. Spoiler alert. All right, Charlie, you're up, my friend. Have at her.
All right.
Hey,
happy. I guess the order doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go through them in whatever order the stack is in here. So I'm going with, I don't imagine this is a band that comes up on the channel very often. A Day to Remember. more on that angsty. So I'm a lot of my side of things is sort of the somewhere between pop punk, metal, angsty, somewhere in that world. And A Day to Remember is probably the best example of like a mix of pop punk and metal just somehow going together and working. But this album specifically came out in 2013, and they were in the middle of a lawsuit with their record label, Victory Records. I believe it was in 2011. The initial issue with the lawsuit was they were suing their label for withheld royalties, and because they thought that they had fulfilled their contract. They had released their 5 albums. Victory said no, because one of your albums was just a re-recorded re-release of your first album, and we don't want to count that. So it was a whole 5-year-long lawsuit. 2 years in, a judge said, okay, you can release your album, because the album had been done for a while and they'd been sitting on it. So they released it themselves with no physical release. They were eventually given the go ahead on the physical release afterwards. But the opening song of this album is City of Ocala, which is where they're from. They're from Ocala, Florida. And the opening lines on that song, on the whole album, are just a screamed F yeah. It's like this cathartic, like, we did it. We got our album out that we've been sitting on for a while. And eventually they did win the lawsuit. I think it was in 2016. It's like 5 years later, they won their lawsuit, got out of their contract, got $4 million in unpaid royalties. And like, I think it's an example of, it's not a perfect example because they were a huge band at the time. So it's not like, a no-name band. Like, I don't think it would have gone the same way if it was like, a much, much smaller band. But just knowing how like, predatory and like evil so much of the music industry is, I think it's just a really nice story of seeing like, a band actually came out on top and beat the industry for something as big as they are. It's not quite a David and Goliath. It's like Goliath against Goliath Jr. a little bit, but like, it's still a feel good kind of thing. And it's also just happens to be one of my favorite albums of all time. So
perfect.
Yeah,
that's good. So now I'm seeing this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I all I did was start it. I built the live stream. I started it. So I'm not sure why I'm getting twice or two, but we're all over the place tonight. So we'll just keep going. How's that sound? Catch us where you can. It's going to record somewhere and be there later. So, all right. Good job, Charlie. Okay.
Oh, I got you here on this one, Joe. The second live stream is just the vertical.
Really? So there's just a vertical one, and there's a desktop.
Weird. It made two.
Yeah. I know it's something new that they started. I just can't remember what it is. And at this point, I don't want to shut us all down. So find us where you can. Here we go. So Daryl, you're up, my friend.
Great. I've talked about this next one on live streams, but Charlie, you were just talking about like a big success story, and I would argue that this guy started small, and then he became popular to the point where if you requested this guy to do something for you or got him to do something for them, then in my opinion, you were now famous, and this goes back to my childhood. So Joe, you talked about, album that reminded you of your teenage years and just brings you happiness. That this reminds me of me and my brother and some of our friends. Me and my brother had these 2 other brothers. We were all friends, and these kids' dad actually built us this fort. It wasn't a tree fort, but it was a fort, and it actually had a couple of beds inside of it, and it had a ladder that went up into this loft in the roof. And we used to sit up on top with this little table, and we would listen to these mixtapes all the time. And all the mixtapes were of this guy. And this was actually this was the first album that I thought of actually when it came to happiness was Weird Al Yankovic. And I've noted this before, whether it's on some of my own videos or here on the live stream, is just if a singer or a band requested that Weird Al did a parody of their song, I mean, I mean, how much bigger can that be, right? I mean, even Coolio came out later and said, "I apologize for getting mad at you because you didn't necessarily ask for my permission to use the song." And Weird Al was always respectful of it, and that's a hilarious picture at the bottom, by the way. And just like even his UHF movie and all that, it's just stupid humor, and it just makes me laugh, and it's funny. But he always asked permission. He tried. I can't remember how many times he tried to get Prince to give him permission to parody.
Yeah.
And Prince always said no. But he was really respectful, and in the end, I mean, he had Madonna, he had Michael Jackson. I don't know if he ever did Green Day, but he did. He did some. Oh, he did Red Hot Chili Peppers. Right, all these big bands, and yeah, I thought it was great. I think it's funny. If I could go back and get my mixtapes again, I definitely would. As much as I hate cassette tapes, I thought the mixtapes were fun. So good times with Weird Al, and actually Boz from that Vinyl channel talked about this on his video the other day, that apparently there's actually a vinyl box set of every single Weird Al Yankovic album, and I looked at it. It's going for $2,000.
It's in an accordion.
$2,000 on Discogs.
Yeah,
but it's like 15 albums or whatever it is. It's just crazy, including the UHF soundtrack, and it goes all the way to the one he did, I think, in 2017 or whatever it was. So it's his whole catalog, just crazy.
And it's in an accordion, isn't it? Or at least I think.
Yeah. It's in an accordion.
Yeah. So sometimes boys find things differently funny than females.
Mhm.
Weird Al, yes, no, maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's a
and they are. They're hilarious, and they're very clever, and they're always interesting. So
good.
I appreciate it from a creative point of view of like, oh, this is fun. This is interesting.
Yeah. Just because we're a lot easier amused, I feel, as a sex. So that's good though. That's good. And Daryl, I too had Weird Al. I had that one. I also got this one. So, and he did do Green Day. He did Canadian Idiot, which was actually really
that's
good.
great. Yeah,
American funny. Idiot. Yeah, it was good. And I've said this before too. If I hear the original version of it, for the most part, in my head, I will sing the Weird Al version. Like if I hear Like a Prayer or Like a Surgeon or like Like a Virgin, it's Like a Surgeon. Now that's just what it is. I start singing the Weird Al version. So it's just fun. It's just good. And it is very talented, and he's super fan. He is really, really good live as well. I think I've mentioned that on here before. I saw him, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. He puts on a fantastic show. He's got a great band that has been the same guys for a long time. So yeah, it's just good stuff. It's just good stuff. So, all right, let's go with me, I guess. Monica, you're okay to stay for a little while still?
Yes, probably another 20 minutes is good.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll do one more round then, and then if you have to go, you have to go. And then, guys, we'll just keep going. So I'm going to go with a little soundtrack, and I really, really like this. I've always liked this. But again, it brings back fond memories of going to the theater at midnight, back in Saskatoon where I used to live when I was a teenager. And we had the toast that we threw, and we did all that stuff, and I knew all the parts. So yeah, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is the motion picture soundtrack. I've also got one of the stage act versions. I think the London Company. I've got that too somewhere, which is not a lot different because it was still Richard O'Brien, this guy Riff Raff, that I think originally wrote it. But really, really fantastic. What can you say about this guy? He's gone on to do a lot of really fantastic things. And then for those that don't know, they show him Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they go, no, that's not Tim Curry. Yeah, that is Tim Curry. That's probably Tim Curry at his finest, actually, or one of his finest. But anyway, just good stuff. Again, back to going to the movie at midnight with friends and having a good time. And it's fun soundtrack. It's good. It's good songs and well presented. And I still know how to do the time warp. I am not going to do it, even if you guys were to ask me. I'm not going to do the time warp for you right now. But I do enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun. And I really, really have always enjoyed that album and the movie and everything that goes along with it. So there you go. A little Rocky Horror Picture Show always makes me happy. So, okay, let's see. Am I caught up? I think I'm caught up on everything other than we've got the dual stream going, but we're not going to worry about that. So, Monica, you're good for one more round. You got time?
Yeah,
for
let's go for it.
Okay, then you are up. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Okay,
Let's see. I have a few here.
perfect. You did, yeah. Whatever you want to do. If you want to show a few, whatever you want to do.
I lost one. Okay. I'll just, I don't know how to do it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is my modern music. I love kind of like indie rock. I don't know. And I can't even describe it. It's basically made from probably computers. But this is Empire of the Sun. This is their latest that they just released. I was able to see them live at the Hollywood Bowl. And they're Australian and they are just so creative. And I always appreciate that, like the production piece of it. And so, I mean, they made Walking on a Dream, if it's a trendy song on, YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. So I have all their albums and they're so upbeat and very positive. They even share that like their friend was going through cancer and when they were going through chemo, they had their music on. And it was just like keeping him in a positive state while he was going through something so harsh. And I'm like, yeah, like their music always does that to me. Just kind of like puts me in a really good mood, very good driving music. Here in California, that's all we do is drive. And so like, if you're doing a road trip to LA or to Palm Springs, or Vegas, sometimes we do Vegas for my husband's work. I put this album on and he enjoys it too. So it's one of those ones where we agree on. But
That's good.
yeah, they're such a great live band as well. And I like how creative and weird. Like I've always gravitated towards put on a good show for me. Be a little weird. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's okay. Yeah. So now when you say keyboards, like Pet Shop Boys keyboards or Kraftwerk keyboards, or because I'm not familiar, I maybe recognize the name a little bit, but
well, it's like poppy indie rock stuff.
Okay, cool.
So
that's good.
It's not 100% computers, which is good, but like when they were performing live, I could tell there were some tracks that like they weren't performing live. I'm like,
oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, that sounds too perfect to the original on the album. But then when they would move to live, like having the guitars and the drums and every piano, like all the pieces, then I'm like, oh, they're performing this live. So I understand like sometimes they can't produce what they did in the studio live, but I appreciate it when they tried to produce it live. You could actually feel the music more.
Perfect. Awesome. Great. Do you want to stick around for the rest of this round? You're okay? Okay, cool.
Do another 15 minutes.
Okay, good. I apologize. I know it's tough times for everyone. We're kind of all spread out a little bit. We're West Coast, we're East Coast. I'm in the middle, but okay. So stop wasting time, Joe, and let Charlie talk. There you go.
I guess kind of bouncing off of Weird Al, I'll go with my comedy pick. Wolves of Glendale is a comedy band from Glendale. I think there's multiple Glendales. It's California specifically. They're a three-piece. They all sing. One guy plays guitar, one guy's on keyboard, and then they got a drummer. And for their live shows, at least, I guess to keep costs down, their drummer plays on like a pad, like just one of those pads where you can kind of set the sound for each pad you hit. But yeah, they're one of those groups where I'm not like a big comedy music guy in general. It's just like they're really funny, but the music's also phenomenal. They kind of have more of like they kind of lean into the rock side of things more than anything else. But yeah, they have a lot of their songs. This is one of those things I don't really want to talk about it too in depth because a lot of their songs do have a twist at the end within the lyrics, and that's kind of what makes it so funny. But even just like names of the songs, I got Vapin' in Vegas, Loud Ass Car, Just Give Me Cash, which is about the singer. He's complaining about how poorly his friends have been doing at his last few birthdays as far as gifts go.
That's good.
One of my favorites is called Planetarium Dump, which is just dealing with IBS in places like a planetarium or an aquarium or just wherever you have to go. It's going to be interrupted because you got to run to the bathroom. Olivia is a song about finding a ghost in your house and then just kind of accepting that she's your roommate and then falling in love with her. Loud Ass Car is just the point of view of that guy in your neighborhood with the really low car with all the lights below and just flooring it through school zones, so it's a weird variety of subject matter, but it's
so you're the guy. You're the guy with the loud ass car, or you're the guy that has to listen to the loud ass car?
No, you're the guy with the loud ass car.
Oh, really? Okay, because I would write one the other way around sometimes. I got a couple guys like that, and I like loud ass cars, but still. Anyway,
there you go. Yeah. Anyway, it's three guys where you're like kind of annoyed because you should only be one of a really funny comedian or a really talented musician, and it's just very annoying when people are so good at multiple things.
You get to be both. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Jack Black falls into that.
I gotta check that out because I am into comedy and I think that's hilarious.
Oh, they're actually, well, they opened for their music video for Vaping in Vegas is just their live performance opening for Tenacious D. So
well, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should admit or not. I watched the Minecraft movie last night. Anybody else watch the Minecraft movie yet?
Haven't
seen it yet. I got it.
Not that bad. I didn't mind it actually. Anyway, I always try and for Chris Mann. Here's your suggestion: watch the new version of Frankenstein on Netflix by Guillermo del Toro. If for nothing else, the visuals, it's very good. So every week I have to give Chris something to watch. I don't have to, but I do. Okay, Daryl, you are up, my friend.
All right. So Joe, all these 2 years that I've been doing the show with you guys, if I was to pick one genre from my collection or one genre in general that I hate, what would you say?
That you hate? I'm not. Yeah. I don't. Country, maybe. Country?
Or that I dislike. And I've talked about it before, because I've talked about one particular band, and I remember on one of my videos I got criticized because it's like they're not this genre. It's just one album they did. Yeah. If I'm going to pick a genre that I really don't like, it's going to be disco.
Oh, okay, sure.
And I remember I got criticized so bad over the whole ABBA thing that one time. It was just terrible. Yeah. But I can't believe that I'm actually doing this and admitting that I actually really like this one disco song. It just makes me happy and it pumps me up, and that's the Village People, YMCA. I think it's a great song, and I'm just mind blown that I'm actually admitting this on the channel.
No, that's there. Hey man,
as I have talked about, that my dislike for disco is just so great. But no, I actually have three Village People albums. I have this one, I have Macho Man, and I have the Go West one. So, and actually, if we're gonna go with Go West, I actually really like the Pet Shop Boys version of that. That would be another song that really makes me happy and pumps me up. But the Village People, the reason that I brought this up and I thought about it when I was going through my collection is today in my last period class, I had a student, and I didn't sing the YMCA, but I had a student go, "Sir, do you know how to rap?" And I went, "Oh yeah, I can rap. I can rap to jump around." And so at the end of the day, they were like, "You need to show us that you can rap." So I threw on Jump Around, and the kids were just laughing because I was actually rapping to this song in class, and they thought it was hilarious. So maybe one day I'll have to do the YMCA with them just for fun. But yeah, I mean, once again, it's just all fun and games. And I don't know what it is. I like them from the disco genre, but most of it I just can't do. And I'm not afraid to say it. I just, other than maybe a couple albums, I agree. There's definitely some good soul infused stuff, but straight up disco, can't do. And I know Joe, that whole one album with Kiss, they did the disco thing.
It's borderline. Yeah, it is. So is the Stones. So is Miss You. Everybody got to have a little 4-beat or whatever, right? So, and you're not a big ABBA fan either, right? So
no.
Yeah. We woke Zilla up. This is Catzilla, by the way. So Yeah, and I don't mind a little every once in a while. I like Donna Summer. I like the Village People. You're right. It's got to be at the right place at the right time. If you're in a crowd and everybody's doing it, that's always that much more fun. It's certainly something that will get a crowd kind of going.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but you can still see the guys that are sitting there with their hands in their pocket, and they want to do it. They're just not doing it. So, but, yeah, it's
true.
always fun. And it's fun, and that's what we're here for tonight. All right, I'm gonna go, and then we'll let Monica be on her way. Let's go with these guys, because this is just a band that makes me happy, and this just happens to be my favorite I Said band. So yeah,
The correct choice.
yeah.
If
Not
I may.
not a lot that is not happy with the Beatles. There's some songs that are maybe not happy, right? But still, I can never be in a bad mood when listening to the Beatles. It's just not possible. This happens to be my favorite, and I just chose that because, again, when I thought of the category, or when I thought of what we were going to talk about, they just came into my mind right away. My wife, lovely wife, bugs me that I listen to a lot of angry music, and I do, because I do listen to a lot of angry music. And I go, yeah, but one of my favorite bands is the Beatles. And she goes, oh yeah, that's right. So she cuts me a little bit of slack. So yeah, just good stuff. And I mean, you could have picked any Beatles album.
What's your favorite song from that album?
From this it's Eleanor Rigby, which I know is the easy answer, but yeah. I don't know. It just is. I just really like it. You know what I did here today though, that I hadn't heard for a while, was Because, and that is such a fantastic song. I mean, to say a Beatles song and then say that's a fantastic song is a bit of an oxymoron, or maybe that's the wrong word. No, that's not the right way to put that. You can't say it's a Beatles song and then not say it's an awesome song, because there are few and far between that aren't. But anyway, yeah, probably Eleanor Rigby. I'm not sure. Plus, I saw Paul McCartney sing it live, so that was pretty cool too. And that was actually very cool. So a couple of buddies.
Tour or a few tours ago?
No, this was a while ago now, probably 15 years ago. So, but yeah, just fantastic. A couple of friends did go recently in Columbus, Ohio, though.
Yeah.
Sam from Americana Sam and Alex from Beer and Vinyl both went, and they just saw him in Columbus. And Alex posted a picture and said, "What a wonderful night. There were tears." And that was, that explains it, because when I was sitting there and he played a couple of songs that I heard for the first time live that I had listened to for forever, not ashamed to say that the same thing didn't happen. It was just fantastic. Yeah. So anyway, again, and you know what? There's people that don't get anything out of the Beatles, and Daryl, I think you're maybe a little bit of one of them. And that's
I'm okay. I'm okay with the Beatles. I've mentioned this before. I only need the red and the blue. I don't. I have no intentions on getting any of their albums, but that's just me.
And that's fair. So, all right. Well, we're just about at the 8 o'clock. So, unless you want to go another round,
I'll share one more, right? And then I'll
go one more. All right, then let's go right at it. Then let you go. We'll go one more. You tell me when you're welcome to stay, obviously, as long as you want. But you let me know when you need to go. So
okay, so here is a very recent release of Tame Impala, another Australian band. I used to live in Australia for a little bit, so my friends there really introduced me to a lot of Australian rock, and then I just kept the trend. So Tame Impala is one guy, which people always make fun of. One guy, Kevin Parker from Australia, he just released this, and like the popular song is Dracula. You probably heard it on Instagram at certain points, but this album went more DJ style, and I suspect maybe it's just to keep costs down, because it's him being a DJ.
Less guys to pay.
Yeah, they're really fun and really upbeat songs, and every album he tries something a little bit different, so some fans don't like it, but I like when the artist does evolve or try something different or gives me a little something interesting to listen to. I have all his albums, so this one was fun to get, and I'm still listening to it, but 2025, new release of Tame Impala, and yeah, those are the albums that currently make me upbeat, happy, and puts me in a good mood.
That's fantastic. That's good. So
thank you so much for having me and letting me join the conversation. And it was really fun hearing your guys' albums too. Like I would have never heard of any of those albums.
Well, I think you heard of the one anyway. I know you're familiar with that one.
Yes,
anyway,
I know that one.
Yeah.
I know Weird Al.
Yeah. Quick before I let you go, Australia was Jen Wigmore a thing at that time? And are you familiar with her?
I'm not familiar. Who is he?
Yeah. She's just an artist that seemed to be really kind of up and coming, and then she went away. A female artist from Australia, I think. She maybe was
here. I got really into Sia. When I was there, she was becoming big. Sia, the wig. She has a wig.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. One of those. So.
But when I heard her music, she didn't have her whole wig on and everything, so I had seen her face. And then years later, she started to cover it. I'm like, I remember your face.
It became a thing. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We know you have to go, and
fun.
Thanks so much. Hopefully you come
back.
Join us again, okay?
I will. Okay, bye.
Right. Thank you for joining, for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much, Monica. Appreciate it. I'm still not sure exactly why we've got two conversations going on, but so you'll just have to exit out. There we go. Not that I'm trying to get rid of her, but trying to help. So it's us three boys to finish her off. Let me do a couple quick comments here. That is a very good point, Trevor. Good day, sunshine. Very much so. Again, yeah, that's when you can put on and as soon as those first couple of drum beats hit, away you go. It's good. Richard just agreeing because Richard is a very agreeable guy. Richard's got a new video out today, I think, as well. Wasn't it out today, Richard? I think I saw something. Yeah. I didn't watch it yet, but I saw something came out a little while ago.
So Trevor, if you're still there, I never got to watch your video. How was the Seahawks game? Just curious to know if that was a happy game or not.
Yeah, I saw the pictures that he went, but I don't know how that game turned out. So, all right, just a couple of Canadian kids hanging around now. So, all right, let's keep going. Let's do this and let's do that, and there we go. All right, sir, you're up.
All right. Before we're off topic on the Beatles, I'll just throw out just because everyone's sharing their favorite track on Revolver, so I'll just throw out For No One on my end. We'll stick with the Brits. I'm going Elton John and the compilation album Love Songs. This one is very specific, so cut me off when I'm talking for too long here. As a kid, my family used to, my family couldn't really afford much in the way of trips. So every summer my grandma would rent a cabin it's a pretty shitty fishing trailer park kind of area. It's just outside Sydenham, which is 20 minutes from Kingston. And the only reason we stayed there is because my aunt and my uncle bought a trailer there, and it was the same campground of trailers that you could buy or cabins that you could rent. And so from summer, not to make you guys feel old, I was 3 in summer of 99. And from summer of 99 all the way to summer of 2019, my family rented the same cabin at the same place. And we would always take my grandma's car because she had a bigger car than my mom, just had more trunk space to pack stuff for. The trip kept getting longer. I first went for a week, and by the end of it, we were going for 5 weeks. And she had 2 CDs in her car. One was ABBA, and one was Elton John Love Songs. My parents didn't want to put up with ABBA, so it was always Elton John Love Songs was the soundtrack of not just going to and from the cabin every single year, but every morning my mom would drive into town from the cabin to grab a newspaper for my grandma or, whatever groceries you needed for the day. So this album was the soundtrack for my entire life from the age of 3 to 23. Every single summer I'd be hearing this album front to back. My only gripe is I'm so psyched that they repressed this. They repressed this a few years ago, because up until just a few years ago, it was a few $100 to find this one online, which was brutal. It's one of those, low print, late 90s. They made so few of them that eventually it's just so hard to find them for a decent price.
Yeah.
And every vinyl is the UK track list, but the Canadian CD had a different order for the tracks. So
Yeah.
I'm so used to, because I'm listening to the CD my whole life, I'm so used to a specific order of tracks. So I put this on. It's not quite the same, but all that to say, this album and the tracks on here are incredibly special to me, and just songs I grew up with.
Yeah, that would be frustrating is not the right word, but I could see that where the song would be ending and you'd be getting ready for the next song and it wouldn't be that song. I get that. That would actually maybe bug me a little bit. I'm not sure. But then I just get used to it. If you listen to that album long enough, if you listen to that 10 years, then it'll all be fine. It'll be okay, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
I almost went with Elton John tonight. I almost went with why am I forgetting the name of that song? It's from the 80s. I can't remember the name of it now. It's in my head, but when you got a song in your head but you can't remember the name of it? That's what's happening to me right now.
Yep.
I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That. That's the one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What the heck? I'll just get this out of the way quick. So yeah, Elton is happy music. And if it's a gatefold, you got to show it. Daryl, you're still going to be up next. I'm just going to butt in here because we're going to talk about Elton John quick. So, and then, yeah, there's just so much good Elton John music. And this is such a fantastic album and a fantastic album as well with all the art and everything else. But he's just, again, it's not necessarily that he's all happy music, but for the most part, he is happy music, and it's just so well written. And especially, I don't know, did you ever see him live, Charlie? Did you ever get a chance to see him live?
No, I think I had a couple opportunities. Like he went through Toronto like a couple times on that last tour.
The last tour.
Yeah. I missed him both times, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, if there's ever another last tour, make sure you go because it's very good. And so again, that's a big part of it. I've always liked Elton John. Seeing him live enhanced that. The fact that my lovely wife, one of her favorites is Elton as well, and I can't get this back in the friggin' sleeve, so I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah, it's just fun, happy music. Again, not necessarily like Funeral for a Friend is not a happy song, but I get it when I listen to it. And then you think about the partnership and the friendship of him and Bernie Taupin and all the things that they have gone through and all the bullshit that he's gone through to kind of come through it as well as he did in the end and things like that. So there's a good story behind all of it. Again, not every song on all these albums are happy songs by any means. And Weird Al, yes, but still. So anyway, Daryl, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's your turn.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. All right, so this next one, it wouldn't be a Wednesday night show without me talking about this. So, Richard, if you're keeping score, because I'm the only one here that's going to be keeping score, I couldn't do this without talking about my favorite band of all time, which is Glass Tiger, and of course, this is the autographed one that I got from Tim Brownrigg. But my favorite pump me up song by this band is My Song. If you're not familiar with Glass Tiger, My Song kind of has like an East Coast Celtic feel to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just an upbeat song. And I don't know, it's just the way the song flows. Like I'm going to talk about a couple songs later where I think that the guitars in it and stuff like that in later songs, it just drives the song. Whereas this one here, it's that Celtic feel. And, I don't know if Curtis is still here, but it kind of, if I lived on the East Coast listening to that song, it would make me proud to live on the East Coast. That kind of feel. And I just love this band. I don't think they get as much recognition in Canada as they should. I know they never really went mainstream in the US, but yeah, I think everything by this band, not everything by them is happy, right? Like, there's a song on here called Suffer in Silence. That's not a happy song, but My Song is a fantastic song. My Town, Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone. Those are all great tracks. And yeah, just brings out the goodness, I think, and maybe being proud to be a Canadian or an East Coaster, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that completely. So, we've touched on it a little bit. There's times of, that we want to listen to certain things, but what activities? Like for me, playing pinball and listening to music kind of go hand in hand because, again, back in the day, that was just a thing. You would go to the arcade, you'd throw a couple of quarters in the jukebox, literally, and play some songs and then go and play some pinball. There's specific times. There's parties that music comes in. Is there some specific times where music is a must for you guys? Like, I don't know if a person could sit there and read and listen at the same time. I know I listen and scroll on my stupid Facebook, but that's different. I don't need to pay any attention to that, and the music is there still in the background. But are there some specific times that or some specific activities that just go hand in hand? And I don't care. It's one of the questions I like to ask. We're back in class again. So,
well, back a while back, I have a friend. He moved to Southern Ontario because he's a principal now. But when he used to live up here in the north with me, he used to come over and we would play the Wii all the time back in like 2010, 2011. We played the Wii, and we used to listen to vinyl records while we were playing it. We just put the game on mute.
Yep.
The TV on mute and just listen to records. I think that certain events, if you're having a party or a get together at your house, I always do that. I think those are specific, and I can't even drive to the grocery store without having music on in the car. That's another one for me.
Yeah, for sure. Charlie, how about yourself? Is there some specific, like, again, you've been working on the house a little bit, so that's probably a great time to throw some stuff on in the background, and whether you're actually paying attention to it or not, it's always going to be there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm same boat. If I'm driving 5 minutes, if I'm walking 2 minutes down the street to the mailbox, I have music going. Yeah, I don't, depending on what I'm doing and depending on what the music is. Like if there's a release I'm very, very excited to listen to for the first time, I stare at a wall and listen. But if it's just a matter of just like I'm doing something and I want music on, I have a different job now, but I used to teach at a college here. So grading always had music going. In my current job, as long as it's not something that I need to really use my brain, like my current job, there's a lot of emails and a lot of contracts and forms and stuff I got to fill out and make sure I'm doing correctly. If I really have to zone in, then maybe I don't have the music going, but I probably have music playing while I'm at work good 4 or 5 hours out of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, for me too, obviously at the shop, I'm listening to stuff all the time. Daryl, how about in class? Like, you talked about that you guys have listened to stuff in class, but your class, does it tend to lend itself to the fact that you guys can play some music in that while you're still working?
So in the I haven't done it this year just because when I'm in the kitchen teaching the cooking classes, it's really skill dependent for me. So if I have to be showing or managing class management in the kitchen, sometimes it's tricky. But if I have a class they've got really decent skills and they're good listeners and stuff, I've got a couple of speakers in my kitchen and they'll go, hey, can we just play some music? And we do the cooking with the music on and the kids just have fun. I find, once again, it depends on the group. It lends itself to success. With the more mellow stuff, like if the kids are working on a more thinky assignment, or they just need to focus, I've thrown on, like I've talked about that Minecraft album that my daughter got me for Christmas the one year. Like Minecraft Alpha is so mellow that I'll throw it on as ambient music. So it's really dependent. And if we're on like turnaround days between semesters where I got to clean up my classroom and all that, I've got music blasting all the time. Sometimes I think it drives them crazy because they're trying to phone me in my office, but I can't hear my phone because I got the music on so loud.
Yeah,
I don't mind it at work. for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain, and again, I think for me anyway, there's certain genres when I'm doing certain things as well that definitely factors into it. So let's do a couple comments here. Richard finally saw Sir Elton about 10 years ago. Yeah, I think we've talked before, Richard. Just a fantastic show. I'll relate this real quick as well. Joanne and I went, and the first time that we saw him, it was just piano, just him and his piano. So it was really, really fantastic. His band is great, and it was lovely to be able to see him with the full band. But anyway, it was like 2.5 hours of Elton John playing the piano, singing the songs he knew every word to or whatever. And we're walking out, and these two ladies behind us, oh, that was really good. And the one goes, yeah, but a little too much piano. Are you freaking kidding me? A little too much piano. What did you think was going to happen? And Joanne and I use that. When somebody says something stupid, we use that all the time because, no offense to the lady, but to say there was too much piano at an Elton John concert that you just enjoyed for 2.5 hours, I'll never get that one. But anyway, and Richard said he's not keeping score tonight, which is fair. That's all right. Daryl, that's a question for you. The orange box set behind you, is that the Aboriginal folk box set? Or what's the box set right beside you there?
This one here?
Yeah, I assume that's what Ryan's talking about. So,
no, it is not. It is one that I got inherited from my grandparents. It's a swing 1944-45 swing music, swing era.
Cool.
It was like big band stuff.
Yeah. See, again, another genre that when I'm playing pinball, I'm probably not listening to swing music, but there's times I could put that on and enjoy it, which would be okay. Here's one from Brian. Do you have this problem? YouTube videos and live streams compete with the music listening attention. Yeah, sometimes I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I could listen in the background or have something playing in the background and be watching a live stream at the same time. I don't know if I could do that. I guess I could do it, actually physically do it, but I can't just completely block out the music. I always kind of have to listen a little bit in the background, and then I don't want to, not listen.
Funny. What's funny, Joe, is I would have an issue. I know there's a couple of YouTube VCers that when they're doing their videos, they'll have music kind of playing low in the background.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to focus on making my video.
Yeah.
So that's a time that I definitely can't do it, is if I'm videotaping or something like that.
Plus, if I can kind of hear it in the background, all I'm going to pay attention to is trying to figure out what that song is if I can't really, really figure it out as well. So, Scott, I'm not sure why. I know there's two different streams going, and I'm not exactly sure what to tell you to do, but I apologize. I don't normally run the show. I am fairly technical. I'd like to think that I'm fairly technical, but somehow I've got both portrait and landscape going at the same time, and they're two completely different streams. So I don't know what you're seeing, but I apologize. But we do thank you for listening still and hanging in there with us. Yeah. Curtis, dub, reggae, and jazz are his go-tos when grading, so maybe he's listening to us and some reggae while doing his grading right now because he had some of that going on.
Speaking of jazz, Joe, are you going to do that thread about whether jazz is good or not for the prize there? With
I don't know.
For Alice?
Yeah, not sure. We'll see. There's so many out there again. So
yeah.
There's Tim. Hey, Tim. So speaking of, he must have heard you.
I must have since I just showed your autographed Glass Tiger album.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for joining us, Tim. And then Scott, well, he figured it out, went to the other one. So here's one again. Richard, I do not like when YouTube videos have music on in the background. Again, yeah, because for me, if it's a song I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out, or I'd be somehow trying to beat Shazam and listen to the song. And I don't know exactly, but anyway. And then restart the app, Scott. But I think he's figured it out. So there you go. All right. Was it my turn? I think it was my turn, right? Because Daryl, you just went. All right. I'm just going to leave us like this. I don't need to be big. Things that sound dirty but aren't. AC/DC. Here's one that probably everybody guessed that Joe was going to talk about because I just enjoy these guys. They're just fun, especially this album and back to the Bon Scott days. They were much more tongue in cheek. I mean, there's Dirty Deeds on here. There's Big Balls is on here. There's so much going on this album. And it's one of these gold dealies, which sound pretty good. The 50th anniversary of AC/DC. Yeah, it's just fun. Again, it also goes back to high school listening to. This was one though that in North America, you by the time you guys got around to AC/DC, not that you're that much, you're a little bit younger, but anyway, this album was out long before Highway to Hell and long before Back in Black, but that's kind of where a lot of people got started. And then they heard Dirty Deeds and they went back and found this album and found High Voltage and found all that stuff. So just good stuff. Got my tickets to go see him in Edmonton, so pretty excited about that. Joe and myself and the boys are going to go see him in Edmonton, Chris and Riley. So pretty cool. That I thought the last time I saw them, which was Power Trip, this one in California, was going to be the last time. And then they did a little bit of a tour, but I couldn't get to Vancouver. I didn't want to go to Toronto, or they didn't even play Toronto last time, which was a bit ironic that all these people from Toronto were bitching about the fact that there wasn't a concert in Toronto when every other concert is in Toronto. But anyway.
For the first time ever, yeah.
Yeah, I digress. Yeah, they are playing there now. They're playing there, Montreal and Vancouver and Edmonton, actually. But anyway, so I'm going to go see him probably for the last time. Yeah, it's Brian and Angus at this point, but Stevie's been around for a long time and Stevie does a fantastic job. And I love the music. They put on a fantastic show still. They've got all the good stuff. And yeah, so AC/DC always makes me happy for a lot of reasons. I can sit here and listen to AC/DC. I can be at a party and listen to AC/DC. And again, I think I never said it the first time, so I shouldn't say again. It seems to me that is a band that crosses a lot of the genres, where people that are, let's say, they're just into hip hop, you can still put on an AC/DC album and they'll bear with it, I think, to a certain extent. I mean, party is a party, so if it gets put on, it gets put on. But AC/DC was always one that played at every party, regardless of whether, there was a little more of an alternative group at the party or what it was. But so I don't go to that many parties anymore, so I just have to party in my basement and hang out with you guys. This is my party these days. So,
well, I would assume, Joe, that after being in a queue of 14,000 people, that must have made you happy to get through it all and actually still get tickets.
And I got what I was happy with for tickets. Yeah, like Commonwealth Stadium is where it is. It holds 56,000. And yeah, when I got online, it was, what was I, 17? I think I was 17 actually. I think I sent you 13 because I'd already been there for half an hour, 15 minutes. But sure. So yeah, it was kind of nice to actually get through and then get some tickets. So yeah, looking forward to it. Richard says he might go in Denver, which would be good. And then I was talking to Alex because they're playing Columbus, Ohio as well. So he's going to go there. So I'm not sure. Are you going to go? Charlie, are you a fan?
I can't call myself a huge fan. No, like I don't dislike them at all. Like if you put on AC/DC, I'm perfectly happy with that. But like,
sure. Yeah.
not a band I'm willing to fork out too much money to go see live. Like I'd love if for whatever reason they were headlining at a festival I was going to anyway. Like that's how I ended up seeing Kiss. It's because they were headlining at Download, and I was like, well, I'm not going to leave.
No,
it's Kiss.
Yeah.
I need to be able to say I've seen Kiss. So
yeah. Maybe. Well, it might work out. The timing might work out. They might play Blues Fest. I doubt it, but they might. I don't know because you
never know.
Yeah, might be. That'd be good. The only one that's announced so far is the Guess Who. That's the only Blues Fest 2026 that's been announced so far. Burton and Randy are getting back together one more time to take a little bit more of your money. But I saw Burton Cummings, I don't know, 4 years ago. He still sounded pretty good. And I saw Randy Bachman, I don't know, 5 or 6 ago with Skinnerd, and he still sounded good too. So they're probably all right. And Trevor went and saw him in Detroit earlier this year. Yeah, it's a good show. I don't think the set list is a lot different from when I saw him at Power Trip, but I don't care. I think, and that is true. They were up there. There were certainly some, but they didn't get into the dynamic pricing bullshit. Like when I went to get my Lady Gaga tickets, that was crazy. So that was in the Forum in Montreal, or whatever the hell it's called. And I was 20,000 in line. So that was much more stressful than being 17,000th in line for Commonwealth. But anyway, I digress. I got the tickets, so it doesn't matter what line I was in or how long it took me to get there, but that's okay. All right.
How many shows have you guys gone to where you just won't tell someone what you paid? I've got a handful.
I haven't. You know what? Until that Lady Gaga show that I am going to in Montreal, until that was the first time I got shut out. That I didn't get tickets at a price that I was comfortable with paying at the time I went to get them. That was the first time. Now, I mean, I've been to a lot of shows, but not that many, I suppose. But I had to buy second market tickets to go to that and paid more than I should have. But we decided we were going, and we were just so there's not that many. But you've got a few, do you? Yeah.
Oasis was the worst. I was very, very far back in line on that one, and it wasn't pretty. It was tough. That was a tough one.
But you got to go to that. I mean, you got there's certain things you just got to go to, right? Like even again this weekend, you guys know the Grey Cup, so the Riders are in it, and I didn't have tickets, but my kid had a bit of a line on some tickets. They won. He said, "Are we going?" And I said, "Yep, we're going." Are we paying a little more than we should? Yep, but we also bought our tickets a week before the game, right? For tickets that have been sold for forever. And then the Bombers are not in it, so ticket prices for Saskatchewan fans went way up. It's like, hey, screw you, Saskatchewan. If you're going to come watch this game, you're going to have to pay up a little bit. But we got an Airbnb at a decent price, so it's okay. But it's like, screw it, you got to go. And if you're in London and Oasis is playing at Wembley, you come up with the cash to a certain extent. I don't know. Was there a dollar? Like, was it really close to I shouldn't, or did you?
It was if it weren't for the fact that, I mean, I love Oasis, but if it weren't for the fact that my girlfriend's dad is a lifelong Oasis fanatic, I don't think we would have done it. I mean, we were planning on going and visiting her family anyway, so we're like, the flight was kind of a non-factor because we were going to be flying over there anyway at some point in that window of a few months. Sure. But yeah, it was really, really rough. All I'll say is we paid an embarrassing amount.
Oh, well, what the hell? You got a fantastic memory for a long time. Just amortize it out over the next 40, 50 years. And
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Tim, I don't know about this year, my friend, because I've already got 3 things planned. Not that I won't go to other things. I'm just not sure if I'm going to get to Ottawa, but I am going to come back and we're going to hang out. So, and there you go. So Tim's at the Paul McCartney Show Monday and Tuesday in Montreal. If anybody's going to be there, come and find him. He'll be the one in the Sgt. Pepper suit. Yeah, that's right too. And he's going to try and get Paul's autograph with a little less attitude this time from Paul. But if you watched, he got a chance to meet Paul once. Paul was tired or something at that time, but so enjoy those shows, my friend. Enjoy those shows. All right. I have been babbling for the last X amount of minutes, but I think, Charlie, it's your turn, right? Isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah. You got time. You got time still. You're okay.
Oh yeah. I'm good. I wanted to grab tickets for the Paul McCartney Show in Montreal from my dad, for like an early birthday present, but I couldn't swing it. Unfortunately. Not my worst ticket purchase ever, but certainly one of the more expensive ones. I'm going with The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. It's my favorite album of all time. And this past summer, they were touring it again. So I came to I kind of accepted that I'd never get to see them because they broke up when I was in high school in 2013. Actually, so what happened was, I'm sure like a lot of people were kind of aware of them at their height and everything, and I really discovered them and fell in love with them about 6 months after they split up. So I was like, that's the worst timing ever. But I managed to see them 3 times now since they got back together. They had their big reunion show in 2019, and then obviously the tour that they had planned for 2020 sort of fell apart. So that tour really started back up in 2022. And so I got to see them 3 times on that reunion tour. I saw them in Warrington in the UK. Then I saw them in Toronto. playing at, I always want to call it Air Canada Center, at Scotiabank Arena. And then I saw them in Chicago headlining Riot Fest. And then I got to see them again this past summer while they were doing their tour for the Black Parade, playing stadiums now, which is, it's insane that they're bigger than they've ever been. But that's one of those things where I was like, this is, like, buying these tickets, and like there was dynamic pricing, but it wasn't too bad. Like I got in there quick enough that like the tickets were like maybe $100 more than they should have been.
Right.
But I was like, like, this is my favorite band touring my favorite album. I have to go see it. This is not the right summer for me to do this after Oasis and everything else, but I thought, you know what, let's do it. It's a good thing I saw these bands, you know, like a month before buying a house and not afterwards, because it would have been a lot harder to swing it afterwards. But yeah, no, this is my favorite album of all time, and this is one of those ones that it doesn't make sense that it's in my happy. For anyone who's familiar with it, it's a concept album about essentially what happens after you die. It follows the story of the Black Parade, which is essentially like, the idea is when you die, death comes for you however you want to see it, or in the form of a memory. And for the main character, the memory is going to a parade with his dad. So death comes to him in the form of the Black Parade, and it's a whole incredible story. And it's one of those albums where I don't know how many times I've listened to it. Whenever I sit down and listen to it front to back, I find something new every single time. And yeah, just, you know, even that much more special to me now, because I was able to finally see it live in its entirety, which I never thought I'd ever be able to do. Because when they first toured this album, when it came out, they were playing the whole thing front to back, and I thought, man, if only I wasn't 11 when they played this front to back in Ottawa. It would have been amazing. But no, luckily they've done it, and you know what? There are enough bits and pieces in the lore, and the show is a complete spectacle. There's a story going on. There's things changing every single show, and like, I don't want to go too tinfoil hat here, but there are very clear ways that they're linking this to their final album that they released in 2010. Yeah. So there might be something new on the way. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but things are kind of pointing in that direction.
Awesome. As I've grown older, teenagers even scare the more living shit out of me than they did a while ago. So that's not true. But that is a fantastic album, and I always enjoyed it. And I mean, the singles, but then I've only had it about 6 months, and I've listened to it maybe 5 times, because it definitely is a pretty fantastic album, especially if you do. It is a sit down and listen to it. It doesn't have to be, but you'll get more out of it if you sit down and listen to it, right? So yeah, for sure. Yeah, Daryl, how about you? Do teenagers scare the living shit out of you?
Teenagers scare the living shit out of me every day.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, my second youngest, he turned 13 this year, so he's a teenager, and my 2 older ones are gone now, but it's teenagers can be trying. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but
I've never actually heard that album in its entirety. I've only heard the singles, right? So
yeah,
from what I've heard, I mean, it's pretty good stuff. No,
I think you'd like it. I think if you got it, you'd like it. So I'll work on that. I'll see if I can find you a copy next time. Next parcel delivery. Now that we got one there, right?
Yeah, no, and not only that, it got here fast.
It did. Yeah. When did I do that? Like Tuesday of last week, I think, or something. So yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's good. All right, you're up, my friend. We got half an hour to go still. So whatever, 1, 2, whatever you want to do. I got enough to get us through the half an hour. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'll do a twofer right now. Actually, the next few albums that are coming up are CanCon. So this next artist, we've talked about him before, because in some circumstances, and I don't disagree with you, Joe, when you say that this guy's biggest hits are way overplayed on the radio. There's no doubt about it. But the song that I'm going to talk about, I don't think it's overly played by Bryan Adams, and that's off the Waking Up the Neighbors album, there's There Will Never Be Another Tonight is on this. And to
Yeah.
me, that's just like I don't know what it is. It's almost like, the first line of the song is put on your red dress, baby. The time is right. There's never going to be another tonight. It's almost like live your life in the moment. And I think that a lot of songs on here are like that, with obviously the exception of Everything I Do, which is the least happy song in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. There's a couple other songs on here, I think. There Will Never Be Another Tonight.
I don't have that one. So
Is Your Mama Gonna Miss You is, I think, pretty fast paced. But there's a lot of slow stuff on here too. Don't Drop That Bomb on Me. But I mean, Bryan Adams as a whole, I think there's some good stuff that could obviously make people happy. Summer of '69 is definitely overplayed, and I don't think there's too many people that would disagree with that. It's on every radio station. But for some people, that song is definitely a pump you up kind of a song, depending on
Sure.
what kind of a mood set you're in and all that kind of stuff, literally. But I mean, we've talked about that. There's no denying what Bryan Adams has done for the Canadian music industry. And I'm going to talk about another song after that for me, Joe, when I talk about it, it's kind of like Summer of '69 with you, where I think it was on the radio, overplayed to me over and over again, where only recently I purchased the album and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this song now again. I came back to it, but yeah, I think radio can kill the music star. I know they say that video killed the radio star, but man, I think the radio can kill the music star sometimes, because there's just sometimes you just can't get around it. You just can't stand them anymore. And yeah, I like There'll Never Be Another Tonight because it's not overplayed, but it's a really good, catchy, fast song. Yeah.
There's an honorable mention. The Buggles, The Video Killed the Radio Star. That's a happy song. That's okay.
Yeah,
I like that
sure.
one. Yeah. First song on MTV. Charlie, I don't know if we know your stance on Bryan Adams. If you've watched this before, you know my stance and Daryl's stance at this point. So how about yourself? You don't have to say. It's up to you.
No. So I'm biased. From my own doing, I grew up in a house filled with Bryan Adams. So my dad was never a big Bryan Adams guy at all. Just kind of, I think the same deal. He's on the radio all the time. I'm sick of this. But when he did MTV Unplugged, my dad I think he heard Back to You on the radio, and he went, I really like this. So he asked my mom to get him the CD for Christmas.
Yeah.
Gets the CD for Christmas. I'm about 1.5, and I start dancing to it.
Oh,
and from there, it became a toddler obsessed. Every Bryan Adams song. My parents got the MTV Unplugged VHS tape. They got the VHS tape with all of his music videos. I would as soon as I could walk, I'm doing laps around the house with a little toy pink guitar with a shoelace as the guitar strap, just doing my best to sing whatever was in. It was Bryan Adams in my head. Clearly, the only song I could sing was "Cuts Like a Knife" because na 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 na.
Yeah.
But it became just from the age of 1.5 to about 6 or 7, I would listen to nothing but Bryan Adams. So I strongly considered picking Bryan Adams for tonight, and Waking Up the Neighbors was one of the albums I was looking at. I was between it or Reckless, but yeah, no, it's a very, Bryan Adams is a very, very big part of my I guess love of music and growing up.
Well, and I think you'd be of the age where there was probably a video camera around that might have filmed that. So we may have to see that footage down the line.
There are hours of footage of this.
You could do a whole documentary, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing I've thought about is asking around and asking your friends if any of them have old home movies from when they were kids with music, and just trying to put into words just how important music is growing up. Because I think
Sure.
the more, I don't know about you guys, but like music was playing in the house all the time when I was a kid, like just constantly, all day long. So I kind of wanted to look at that and just kind of see. It'd be difficult to put into words just how much that influences you, I think, and how much it it turns you into someone who just appreciates music at a level that most normal people would kind of be concerned about, I guess. But
I think a lot of us on here, I don't know, now that I think about it, a lot of us do obviously reference back to our parents and listening and music in the house and things like that. It doesn't often come up where, I had no musical influences growing up. I never listened to. I all of a sudden just discovered it myself. So, there's certain cases like myself where it was a different genre than I turned into liking, because it was my grandparents, not my parents. I don't need to tell that story again. So there's that aspect. But Daryl, you always talk
Joe,
about,
it's funny. It's funny, Joe. You were talking about your parents there. Some of the extras that you sent me, I got a little bit of a vibe that some of those might have been influenced by your childhood.
They might have been a little bit. Yeah. I don't even remember exactly what I sent you anymore. So
you sent me, you actually sent me a Harry Belafonte one and what was the other one?
Oh, it was,
Pitney. It wasn't Gene Pitney. It was something else. And I was like, these are definitely influenced from when Joe was younger, but I don't mind that kind of music. I'm okay with it.
It was an eclectic mix, I think. And you take what you want and do what you want with the rest. So yeah, exactly.
I just realized that I had said I was going to do a twofer on this one, so I might as well finish up my twofer. So we talk about Bryan Adams. I think on the flip side of bands from Canada that weren't overplayed, maybe this one song was overplayed, but this band definitely wasn't overplayed. But the song "Innocence" by Harlequin, to me, is fantastic. I don't know if you're familiar with that song, Charlie, but it's
I'm sure I've heard it.
It's late 70s, early 80s, and it's completely guitar-driven Canadian rock music. Straight up, it's fantastic. Like something that if you were in this old 1930s beat-up car doing your investigation, because it's kind of an investigative album, I guess, you would want to be listening to that song, and I think it's great. Once again, rock and music like Bryan Adams, but almost the flip side where you kind of have to be in that niche listening of Canadian music to kind of know who Harlequin are.
I do. They're good boys from Winnipeg. I might drive by their houses when I'm in Winnipeg this weekend. Who knows? They're still playing. It's a couple of them are still. I've seen them numerous times before and currently. The one time that sticks out the most, though, is I was going to go and see. Well, I did go and see David Lee Roth after he left Van Halen. So it was him and Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan and those guys. And it was supposed to be Andy Taylor, who had that one hit, Take It Easy. They did the remake with the Power Station, but he had an album of his own, the guy from Duran Duran. Anyway, he canceled for some reason. It ended up being Harlequin. So it was kind of at the later end of Harlequin's somewhat. A little bit. They're still playing, so I shouldn't say it was at the latter end of their career. It was at the latter end of putting out the big albums. So this big, massive, huge David Lee Roth stage, and Harlequin was just kind of in the middle, and they played their songs, and everybody enjoyed it, and then they went home. But it was really good. But I love Harlequin, and I saw them. I'd seen them like 6 months before in the basement of the Legion Hall in Weyburn as well, like that. So Harlequin went from probably 100 of us or 200 of us to 20,000 in the Saddle Dome in Calgary. So they were just, if you pay us, we will come and we will play. Like Trooper, same thing. So
I was actually talking about your neck of the woods today in class today, because we were talking about the Palliser Triangle during the Great Depression in the Dust Bowl.
Yep.
And we were talking about Lloydminster, how it's one of the few cities in Canada. Well, actually, I think it's the only city in Canada that's in two provinces, where if you stand on that one street there, you can put 1 foot on each side and you're in two provinces at once.
Yeah,
the kids thought that was super cool.
I think it's 4 or 5 big pillars that make up that show, specifically the border. There's probably other ones that are smaller that are on, but it's the most major city that. So
yeah,
I've been there, and it's weird because not so much anymore, but you legal drinking age in Alberta was 18, in Saskatchewan was 19. So, if you lived in the Saskatchewan side, you just went and drank on the Alberta side when you were 18, because we all waited till we were of legal age to drink, right, guys? Yeah,
absolutely. Especially, same thing here, right? Because because Ottawa, like we're 20-minute drive from Quebec, and it's a 1918 situation here too. Sure. So
same thing. Yeah, exactly. Just go over the bridge.
When I lived in Windsor, it was the whole Michigan Ontario thing where it's 21-19.
Right.
Yeah, we would always get Americans coming over. I wonder if Trevor was one of those.
Yeah, Trevor might have. I can see Trevor crossing the border to get into Canada at 19 and start drinking. Maybe not. Yes, Alex, you are correct. And hello, by the way. Nice to see you. That was an amazing lineup with Billy Sheehan and of course Steve Vai playing guitar. So I kind of got the best of both worlds. I don't need to rehash it because I've talked about it before, but I got to see Van Halen with Eddie and Sammy, and then I got to see David Lee Roth with Steve Vai and those guys. So it was pretty cool. Charlie, no, my turn. I almost robbed it there. I almost robbed it, and I'm just going to leave myself there. This one's silly, but I don't care. Bob and Doug McKenzie. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys have a comedy album that you listen to or have listened to on a regular basis, but there's this one, and then Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke, that album. I listened to those, and Steve Martin too. Back in the day where there wasn't HBO in that, so you had to, especially the Steve Martins and the Richard Pryors of the world, you got their albums and you listened to their albums. This was a little different. This also had the Great White North with Mr. Geddy Lee on there. Got the hype sticker on there still. At some point, this cost $5.97. It also, at some point at Kelly's Records, cost $8.99. Includes the 12 Days of Christmas, the greatest Christmas song. That is how I know it's Christmas, when I hear Bob and Doug's 12 Days of Christmas. But and Take Off. But Beer Hunter, it's, being a Canadian kid in the 70s, 80s, and this came out in, I don't know, I can never find the friggin' numbers on here. Plus, I got to start doing this shit. So anyway, in my formative years of drinking beer at the legal age, maybe a little before, listening to Bob and Doug. But I don't know, were there any comedy albums that you guys listened to?
I think, well, I don't listen to it anymore. I remember the first comedy album I listened to with my dad, where my dad was like, "Don't tell your mother." Was McLean and McLean's Take the O Out of Country. That was the one that I remember the most.
Sure.
With Fuck Yeah on it.
Yeah.
I remember I listened to that. And he also actually had the Cheech and Chong wedding album with the opening track.
Yeah.
Just a complete pornographic song, I guess you would call it. And Basketball Jones is on there.
Basketball Jones, Earache My Eye, all that stuff. Yeah. And for a teenage, less than 19 age kid, Cheech and Chong I saw more times than I think I saw that more times than I saw that Godzilla movie that I always talk about. So, but anyway, I digress.
I forget which movie it was. Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams, I think it was. Pee Wee Herman made a cameo in that one.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
And Pee Wee Herman's cameo, he says something about a hamburger train, which actually is used as a clip in Primus's Hamburger Train song. It's kind of
really
funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. There's a documentary coming out of those too, but Bob and Doug classic. I agree, Richard. I already showed that one. Where was the other? There it is. This Charlie guy is he was on before with me when I did that little bit of a stint of, hey, I saw those guys. And a good channel that hasn't had a lot on it, but it's going to start up again once he gets his house built, right?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there you go. Reality. What a concept. Yeah. Oh shit. Reality or Gravity Works. Yeah. Robin Williams. Anyway, he's my favorite, but we're not here to talk about comedy. We're here to talk about music or comedic music. But anyway, so yeah, Bob and Doug, Take Off, you hosers. What do we got? We got 15 to go. Let's go around again. Charlie, you're up, my friend.
Yeah, Bob and Doug is actually my only comedy album that I own.
Oh, so, really? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Even as I was gonna say a 90s. I'm barely a 90s kid. I was 3.5 when it was January 2000. So like I'm a 2000s kid. Even as a 2000s kid, that's the hold they have on Canada, right? Like
yeah,
that I'm essentially a 2000s kid and I have that album. Like it's
like that's the thing. So there's this, and look at this. I should have whipped this stuff out. Look at that. The Bob and Doug order form. You could have got some t-shirts, you could have got a Bob and Doug poster. Please forward check your money order to Anthem, Bob and Doug, P.O. Box, blah blah blah. Ontario residents, please add 7%. But yeah, you fill it in and you could get yourself some Bob and Doug stuff.
Nice.
And then like on the sleeve, there's a word find, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But it's worth a listen. If you've got this or you can find this, buy it and give it a listen, because Beer Hunter and all that stuff and Take Off. The one with Geddy Lee is a pretty good song, I guess, if you're a Geddy Lee fan, because it is full-blown Geddy Lee singing on that one. That's for sure. All right, I'm done. Go ahead. You're up.
Oh man, I'm having difficulty deciding what's I'm wearing the shirt. Let's go with the one where I'm wearing the shirt. Beartooth, The Surface, which I'm wearing my Beartooth shirt. So Beartooth is actually I probably could have gone with this one when Monica was still here, because Beartooth is also a one-man band. Where obviously not on tour, they have the whole band going around on tour, but as far as the writing and recording everything goes, it's just one guy, Caleb Shomo, and he had, I should know this off the top of my head, The Surface's album is number 6 for him, and the first 5, it's a complete change for him. The first 5 albums are really just extremely depressing, really really dark, because essentially his material is always just whatever he's feeling at the time, and he was going through a pretty rough patch for a long time there. And this album just kind of came out when he was starting to get his life together, and just a completely sound-wise, it's a Beartooth album. It's not like he took a completely different direction with the sound, but as far as subject matter goes and lyrics, it is a completely different thing from what he was doing before. And the fact that I love this album, I think, is pretty amazing. That his album that he released before this is my favorite of his, and it's by far the darkest, kind of like most depressing one he's got. But the subject matter really did kind of switch from just how hopeless everything is to in the title track, there's a line. What is the line? It's all my worries were a waste of time. Then he's got songs like Doubt Me, The Better Me, Might Love Myself. What Are You Waiting For? Which is a song about just stop effing around. Just don't wait for the right time to come, because the right time isn't going to come. You just have to say, I'm starting now, and whatever that might be. But yeah, it's an album that on paper, it's a complete departure from everything else he had been doing for quite a while, and it shouldn't work. And despite that, it's one of my favorites from the current decade that we're in right now.
Cool. That's good. Yeah. I mean, we said it off the top, just because of the subject matter. And although you said it changes a bit on that one, that doesn't matter. I mean, again, Bob and Doug is a bad example. AC/DC is a bad example, but there's if you go back to this, there's some deep stuff, some not happy stuff on there, but still the overall feel, how it makes us feel, that's what we're shooting for, to be happy. Richard wants a toque. I'll see what I can hook you up with. I know you're not talking about toque. And for those that are watching, because I wear this all the time, it's not that I'm stupid and I don't know when I go to look for something to put on my head, I have to have the word toque on the front of the actual piece of clothing. It's a band. It's the same band. It's the same band here. So toque. That's why it says toque on my toque. It's my toque. And then Tim was saying Mr. Hanky and the Christmas Poo was one of his few comedy albums. I think the boys from South Park probably have a few things out there, don't they? I'm not sure. Not Bob and Doug. Bob's Burgers has 2 albums out as well, and it's a lot of the little silly songs at the end of the show. I don't know if you guys watch that or not, but I like Bob's Burgers, and they've got a couple albums out. And then the Mr. Hanky was on Crap Colored Brown not a scratch and sniff. That is correct. That is a good thing that it was not a scratch and sniff. So, all right, Daryl, you are up, my friend.
All right, I'm going to do another twofer because I'm assuming that the next round will be the last one. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
a couple more Canadian content here. So we've talked about these guys before. Honeymoon Suite, for sure. Once again, this is a rockin', just guitar-driven album. New Girl Now and Burning in Love to me is just a fantastic. There's something about the guitar solo on that song that just pumps me up. I've even played it on the intercom system at school because at the school I work at, we play music first thing in the morning when the kids are going to class, and then we play music at just after the first lunch bell to get the kids to class. And I've played stuff like this, guitar-driven, not hard, but just good old Canadian 80s rock. Now this next one though kind of has maybe a mini story. I've never shown this on my channel, and this is gonna throw you probably for a loop because it might be the only time I'll ever show this. But for some reason, I remember when I was a kid. So my grandmother was born and raised in Quebec City, and we used to go visit family and stuff in Quebec City. Both my parents met in Quebec City. They were living in Valcartier, the military base, because my grandparents were in the military. And for some reason, I heard this played. My dad played it. I don't know if he played it at home or on the road trip. And the whole album is in French, and it's by a guy named Gilles Valaquette. But there's a song on this album, and it's called Chanson pour un café. That's the name of the album. So songs for the cafe or songs for the restaurant, whatever you want to call it. But there's a song on here called Je suis cool. I just think it's a funny song. At the top of the hour, you talked about like songs maybe about ego and being cocky. That I think that pretty much meets and establishes that. But for some reason, I'll throw this on. I got this for real cheap. I had bought a set of records off a guy off Discogs out of Montreal or something, and he threw this in for like dirt cheap because it's not in the greatest condition, but it reminds me of going to see my family in Quebec City with my parents when I was a kid. And it's a rock, like a rock album, I guess you would call it, but it's not. If you're familiar with Pagliaro, it's not
Yep.
Pagliaro, although I really like Pagliaro. I got to get some of his stuff. But I mean, what a better chance to show off a French album than right now tonight. I mean, nobody's going to give a crap about this, but I think it's hilarious and just brings back memories of good times.
Makes you happy. That's what we're here for tonight. That's it. So that's good. That's awesome. All right, I got one, and then we'll do a speed round. So this is a brand new album to me. I've talked about it. I'm not going to go into it a whole bunch, but it really does make me happy. And it is the Nebraska 82 by Bruce Springsteen. It is 4 albums. For those that don't know, it's a reissue or a remix of the album Nebraska done electrically, and it's done a little bit different. There's some different stuff. There's also an outtakes album. There's a remastered version of the album, and then there's some live stuff. It is, for me, fantastic. I have not argued with, but I have discussed with others on other shows in the last couple of weeks its merits. I love it. It makes me super happy to listen to it because although not Nebraska not being my favorite Springsteen album, it is up there, and they have done such a fantastic job on this. I have listened to it numerous times. I have sat down. I've looked through. It's a lot of lyrics and that, so it's not that there's a lot of other things to read in there, but it just makes me happy. And if it's a gatefold, you got to show the gatefolds. And this is more than a gatefold. Again, it's 4 albums. It's a reimagining. Not a reimagining, it's an alternate version of the album back in the time frame when Bruce and the band got together. And Reason to Believe, I think I stated this last week, might be my new favorite Bruce Springsteen song, the electric version of Reason to Believe on here. But the outtakes is fantastic. What's cool about this, if you're watching me talk about it for the first time, there's a couple songs on here where there's some lyrics from some of that turned into and became in other songs. And it's weird, much like you talked about the Elton John, where you knew, or it should be this song next on the CD, but it's different on the album. There's stuff on here where there's lyrics that made it into different songs. So you hear a line of a lyric and then you start to sing, like Downbound Train is one, and I can't remember the line. And then you sing the next song the next line of Downbound Train, but that's not it because it's in a different song. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, this makes me happy, and I am very happy. The only thing that doesn't make me happy is I'm not sure about the way they did this, because the corners are kind of sneaking up a little bit. So other than that, very happy with this, and it makes me happy as a little girl. You guys watch Saturday Night Live? Remember Mike Myers, the Sprockets? Anyway, I'm not sure why I threw that in there, but I threw that in there. So we haven't seen Julie for a little while. Hey, Julie. Pagliaro in Ottawa in a couple of weeks, Tim is saying. So that's good. I never did get a chance to see Michelle, but I do like some, and I'll look out for some. That'll make the next shipment again. We'll try and find you some Pagliaro down here. So there you go. And Julie is with us. Hi, Julie. Nice to see you. All right. Okay. We've got, it doesn't matter exactly how much time we got. Let's do one more round if you've got some left, but let's show whatever you got, because if you pulled them, you got to show them. That's the rule. So, and the cat's leaving, so we got to be done, because it must be getting close to 9 o'clock, because that's when the cats get fed. So there you go.
Right, I'll go real fast. I got 4, but I can go real fast with them.
No, you don't have to go fast, man. We're not. It's not like it's got to be 2 hours. Take your time, do whatever, but we'll finish up with this round.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll go. Okay, the last round though. Like I'll go through
last round.
Let's go. Okay. So I'll start with like a twofer. And this will be pretty obvious who I'm talking about as soon as I reveal it. It's a twofer because they're both Kingston bands, and I think everyone's going to know exactly what 2 bands I'm talking about.
I know one for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, 2. I think. So we'll start with the Hip. Road Apples. I could have picked any Hip album. Road Apples is my personal favorite. But there's just something about anytime the Hip comes on, it's just instant happy. I don't know what it is. And that might be me buying into, I don't know. I feel like there's something to, like, you know, everyone likes this band, and so you kind of feel like, oh, I gotta like this band, and maybe there's something to that with the Hip, but like I genuinely just think that they're that good, that they're just that band that everyone in Canada loves. Like, you ask someone their 5 favorite Hip songs, and you'll hear, I don't know, you ask 10 people their top 5 Hip songs, and you're going to hear like 35 different songs. It's unbelievable the amount of music this band has that everyone loves. But yeah, I could have gone with any of them, but Road Apples is my personal favorite.
They are a little polarizing on here, because I'm a big fan.
Are they really?
Yeah. Rob is not a fan. He understands, he gets it, but he's not a fan. Daryl, I think, feels kind of.
Yeah, I'm on Rob's side. I understand it, and I totally get the popularity. But Rob and I have a similar view on we have issues with Gord's voice. We just don't like his singing. Yeah. I guess would be. I love the guitars and stuff. Okay, but I just don't like Gord.
So Gord's voice is one of the main pulls for me. So it's interesting how that works. Okay, so I'm working on where I'll line up with everybody. So like with Rob, I got Oasis. With Joe, I know we have a few even more like modern bands as well, including.
Yeah, when you said Kingston, that's not who. Yeah, that's who I meant, was those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, the Glorious Sons. Again, this is another band where I could pick basically anything. Not a huge fan of their last album, Glory. I thought it's sitting like at a 6 out of 10 for me. Sure. Absolute massive fan of everything else that they've done. Young Beauties and Fools is one of my, it's a top 3 album of all time for me. But this one specifically, live at Longboat Hall, is in Toronto, acoustic performance. And this is like, honestly, I might put this on more than most of their studio stuff. This is my go-to cooking album. Like if I'm like cooking like a meal prep, like I'm cooking my lunch for the next couple weeks and prepping that, throwing in the freezer or whatever. Like I'm cooking for the next 2-3 hours. I listen to this album a couple of times.
A very dear friend of mine, Angie, is a massive Hip fan, and is also a very big fan of those guys. And so she compares them a lot, especially the live version of them, where the Tragically Hip used to be the sing along and everybody participated and everybody knew all the words, where now the Glorious Sons have kind of become that. And I feel that seeing them, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, it's more of a let's talk about this a little bit, but I think when you see them and you see them perform and you hear Brett sing, and that's probably why that album resonates. The dude is insane. He's not Gord Downie early Tragically Hip insane, but he's insane.
Yeah,
and
100%.
So good though, so good, and they are all very good. Like the band, again, not crazy all over the place. And oh my God, you're not necessarily drawn to watch. You're just drawn to watching all of them. And I have just enjoyed every second of a Glorious Sons concert from start to finish. And I'd go see them day after day after day. And it's just good. And have they got the notoriety? No, I don't think they have. Do they deserve the notoriety? Yeah, I think so. They should be playing the friggin' Grey Cup. That's a band that should be, because they would just blow people away, I think, if more people got a chance to see them. And again, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I knew that's where you were going, because I really liked, and that's because of my son. My son Riley turned me on to them. I mean, they were in my periphery, they were there, and then he went and saw them, and then we went and saw them. And again, after you see them, that's it. I think anyway, if you like any of their stuff and you go and see them, you will like all of their stuff.
I just saw them for the third time this past summer. And as impressive as ever. Yeah, it was something else. They're so good. I can't recommend that acoustic live album enough. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and not just because they are that kind of that sing along band, not just because they are from Kingston, but they are following in the Hips' footsteps of they just tour. Like I don't think they're ever home, and they go into the States, but they're back and forth across Canada, and they play. They play Cornstalk in Tabor, Alberta, and they play Minnedosa, and they play the X in Saskatoon, and they play, the Centennial Auditorium in Saskatoon, and then they play here, and they're just everywhere. So they're that band that they live out on the road and give people their money's worth every single time. So.
Yeah, they'll play. I mean, the last time I saw them this past summer, they were playing at Hope Volleyball, which is like the big volleyball tournament here in Ottawa. So like they play, I've seen them play there. I've seen them headline Blues Fest. I've seen them headline at TD Place, where like the 67s and Ottawa Charge play. So I've seen them in. They'll play anywhere. They'll play whatever.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They always do a great job. Phenomenal.
Yeah. I say it somewhat jokingly, but if you go and see the Glorious Sons and you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Jokingly, but I just really like them a lot. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
I'll finish up here. I got two more for you. Not a whole lot to talk about for either one. This one, Life's Not Out to Get You by Neck Deep. Welsh pop punk band. One of my all-time favorites. This is an all-time album for me. Definitely in my top 5. The reason I picked this one is because the whole joke of pop punk is whiny, I hate where I'm from music. And they have a song on here called Can't Kick Up the Roots, which is about how like they can't get away from their hometown. They don't want to. There's too much that they love about it. And for them, and number one, I mean, like, I'd understand if it came out now, but this album's from 2015. They're from Wrexham before Wrexham was cool. When Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought the soccer team. So this is like before Wrexham had much going for it. They're like, this town rocks, man. So I thought it was just kind of an interesting twist on the usual pop punk.
That's good. That'll be one for our buddy Chris Mann, who lives in Wales. Not in Wrexham, but he lives in Wales. So there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
And to finish it off, we're getting towards that season. Vince Guaraldi. I mean, I love any and all Vince Guaraldi, but this one especially. I mean, this has been the soundtrack to every Christmas of my life. We got home movies from Christmas '96 where I'm 6 months old, and this is playing in the background. Like it's a staple for me, and I think anyone who's been alive since whenever the special came out. 65? Is that Christmas? 65? Something like that?
It came out 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I was born, and I have loved it ever since.
Yeah, it's just anyone who's been alive when this has come out. I think if you don't love the specials, I think you got to love the music, whether it's from the Christmas special, Great Pumpkin, whatever that might be. I have a couple other like compilations from different Peanut stuff, but no, just like the Vince Guaraldi stuff. Absolutely love it, and I think I think I can say for myself that the Christmas special that's my favorite batch of music, and I'm also one of those people who has a tough time holding off on Christmassy stuff. Like I'm trying to fight it right now. I'm trying to get to. I usually try to get to around a month before. I try to get to like November 25th, but we just got absolutely dumped on with a bunch of snow here in Ottawa the last couple of days, so it's getting tougher. It's tough to hold off on that.
I was gonna pull that album out, and if it makes you feel any better, I put up all of my Christmas inflatables today before we get snow. So I'm not blowing them up yet. I'm not putting them up for a little bit, but it's after November 11th, so it's a free for all now. If you're up in Christmas, you're good to go. So
yeah, I've always gone by that premise too. November the 11th is the deadline, and then November 12th is fair game.
That's 100%. Yep, exactly. All right, Daryl, what do you got, my friend?
What do I got? I think I got like 5 or 6 here. So the first couple, we've talked about albums where not all the songs are happy music, like your Elton John and all that. This one here is the greatest hits. It's the Paper Cuts, Linkin Park. I mean, let's face it. One More Light is not a happy song, but In the End is the one that I always go to. That's my favorite Linkin Park song. Brings me back to the first time I heard it was at a bar, and we were just dancing on the floor to it, just hands up and all that kind of stuff. So I like that. I know that. So you've talked about Chris Cornell in the past. My most upsetting moment has to be Chester. I remember hearing One More Light when it came on the radio when they had just released it, and then within 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, he had passed away. So not everything on here is happy music, but a good portion of it's got some really just upbeat music. And I would argue the same thing about Metallica's Ride the Lightning, but For Whom the Bell Tolls, for me is like if I go to a sporting event, a hockey game especially, and I hear For Whom the Bell Tolls, that song just, for me, it just brings the roof up. But I mean, like if you think about what's Creeping Death, for example, I mean that's not exactly the most positive song in the world from a lyrical standpoint, I guess, or at least a title. But Ride the Lightning is great, just good pumping up music. Tom Cochran's Mad Mad World, Life is a Highway is a fantastic song. I mean, it's not my go-to from this, definitely not my favorite. But my favorite on this is not a happy song. My favorite song on this is Sinking Like a Sunset, which is more mellow. But Life is a Highway, I actually prefer Tom's over Rascal Flatts, but I'll take Rascal too. It's not that bad. The 3 big songs from Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. I mean, I grew up with this kind of music. Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Head Over Heels are fantastic. I think I talked about this on albums when we talked about albums that took us a little while to get into.
You did.
This was one of them, but then I mean, I totally get this album now from start to finish. And I know Richard, if you're still here, Richard loves this album too. So got to go with that. My buddy Gino Vanelli, couldn't go without Showing Black Cars. You drive around in your car to Black Cars. I mean, that's just a car driving song all through and through. So Gino Vanelli. tailing off of course, the Gilles Valaquette and Pagliaro scene. This next one is the second to last. We've talked about Summer of '69 being overplayed. This is the one that I was referring to when I said I recently got this because for 20 years or so, maybe even more, I actually couldn't stand this song. But Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves, I've come back to now. But as a kid, I just heard it so much that I was sick and tired of it. But now I can get back into it. I'm okay with it.
That's good.
And I mean, Walking on Sunshine, I mean, if that doesn't scream happiness, summertime, what else does? And then to finish it all off, it's too bad Rob wasn't here because I know every time I show this, he gets a good kick out of it because his wife loves this. And Roxette's Joyride, the title track, Joyride. I used to listen to this entire album when I was a kid with my brother. And to me, there's not a bad track on it. And unfortunately, she's not with us anymore. But I think somebody said that he's touring again, I think.
Maybe.
I think maybe Morton said that. I can't remember.
But
I think he's out and about.
They've got a box set coming out. I'm not sure if it's a box set anniversary of that or if it's a box set of all their stuff, but they've got something coming out. And Linkin Park just played the F1 race in Brazil. Not that that matters to anybody, but Linkin Park was at the F1 race in Brazil. But good choices. Again, it's what makes you happy, and it's what makes us happy. Because you're right. Creeping Death by Metallica is not a happy song, but it's the guitars and the drums and it's all the stuff that goes along with it. And it's that. It's the adrenaline that gets you going, and it's the happy part. So, all right, I'm going to finish this off here. I got 3 that I have talked about many times, but that's because they make me happy. And I don't know, actually, maybe I have. I don't think I've shown this one. I know Rob shows this one quite a bit. But Tom Cochrane, again, back to Red Rider. One of my fondest memories of many going to concerts is my buddy Ron and I in his 1980s orange Pinto. We did not blow up, driving, a couple hours to go see Red Rider because we both just thought they were fantastic and they were playing in a town that was a couple hours away. So back in the day, we hopped in his Pinto and we drove down to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. But there's Tom and company back in the day. Little shiny on the sleeve, but that one's good. And this one, I really like listening to this almost all the time. It's Paul Simon's Graceland. Just good stuff. You Can Call Me Al, and especially when I think about the video with him and Chevy Chase and that it's so silly, but it's very, very good. This is autographed by Lady Diana. No, it's not. But I don't care about cover stuff like this, and it's a really, really good album and nice and clean. So yeah.
I think what makes me happy about that album is just I don't mind world music.
Yeah.
So I think that the African concept of it is really cool on there.
Yeah, and all the backup singing and everything else that goes along with it. And not even so much You Can Call Me Al, but I mean there's lots of great songs on here. At the Cinematographer's Party, just that, and Homeless, but I Know What I Know, that song, it's just good. I can listen to this daily if I wanted to. I could put this on. I could never get sick and tired of that album. And then again, here's another example of, actually it's pretty good if you're pretty fly for a white guy and get a job. And again, I've seen them a couple of times, which helps. But this was, and this was overplayed. Like Pretty Fly for a White Guy was overplayed, but the video was good. The Give It To Me Baby Girls and stuff like that, but just really, really good. Americana and like right from the start, waiting on the sun and staring at the sun, pardon me. Have You Ever, Welcome, Feelings, their version of Feelings, but Americana, Why Don't You Get a Job, just the whole 9 yards. It's all really, really good. So there you go. Offspring, Americana. Makes me happy, makes me smile. And that's what it's all about. Again, there are lots of different moods that I think that we use for music, but happy, I think, is certainly one of them. No shit, Joe, that is certainly one of them. What I meant to say was one of the biggest ones. I think that if we want to cheer ourselves up, we put on a little music, whatever it might be, whether it is Metallica or Offspring or Paul Simon or some fantastic the French album that you talked about, because it brought back fond memories. That's what it's all about, right? So I think, anyway.
Agreed. No, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're a little over our 2 hours, but that's never set in stone by any means. And I like hanging out with you guys, so it's all good. But we are done for now. But let's go around. So, Charlie, again, we talked about it off the top, but not a lot of content on the channel. But, I'm sure you're always up for doing stuff like this if people are looking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, a lot of I think my problems with my videos are too hands-on. I put too much like effort into them, as far as like it's stuff I have to write and then edit. And I think what I need to start doing more is just put the camera down and talk about some records. I think that's probably what I need to start doing, just to get some more stuff out there.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, yeah, I'm hoping maybe I'll get some videos done about setting up my new record space, my new music area, all my equipment and everything like that. So I'll start working on that. Unfortunately, that's probably just gonna be a video I'm going to make when it's done, so that might not be for another 6 months by the time I'm done doing that. But at the very least, I'm going to be doing my end of year stuff like I always do. If anyone watching is into, I don't know, the angstier side of I was going to say modern. Obviously, it's modern. It's my favorite stuff that came out in 2025. But my favorites kind of lean into, metal, post-hardcore, pop punk, stuff like that. Although this year's a little bit weird. Like, one of my favorite albums from this year is, I don't know if either of you guys are into Black Country New Road, but their album from this year was phenomenal. It's almost more like a folksy kind of thing. It's really, really good.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah. Get out there and, much like this episode, do what makes you happy, right? And if that just means making one every once in a while and jumping on some streams, then so be it. So that's good. That's good. Thank you. That's awesome. Daryl, how about you? What's going on? What's planned? What's making you happy these days?
I put together a whole pile of different thread responses. I've got a couple more that I want to do, because there's quite a few neat threads out there. Curtis has one going on, showing like album covers, but like portrait album covers. So that's kind of a neat one. So Curtis from Young LP Lovers. That CD Cave, he's had a few going on that I want to get caught up on. And I don't know. I know that some people, and Brian from Embryonic Robot mentioned this in one of his videos. He's like, yeah, I know that I've been putting out all these thread response videos, but it's fun to show off parts of your collection that you normally wouldn't, based on topics that people put out, right? So I'm okay with that. I know that not everybody is, but I like it. But I do have to kind of get back into, hey, I have some ideas of my own. So for example, like I was doing those Juno award winner videos. I got to get back and finish it off. I think I've got at least 2 more that I can do. So I'd like to try to get into that. But of course, as we know, right, Christmas season's coming up. It's going to start getting busy again. And then, of course, in the new year, I don't know who's going to do it. I wonder if Rob Walker is just going to take it back or not. Who knows? But maybe. There's always the vinyl tag and all that kind of thing. So I just play it out. I've got a whole slab, and then who knows? I might go 2 weeks without making a video again. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's all good. That's good. And myself, again, I talked about it. I'm not doing much on my channel, if anything. I've got the store one that you're welcome to watch. It doesn't apply to everybody because I don't ship anywhere. It's just, you got to come by it at the store. So if you're coming to Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, then watch all my videos, because you'll know about all the 12 things that I don't think belong there. But anyway, and again, I love doing this, because this is what it's about. Again, I enjoy doing the videos. It's great. We hijacked your channel there. Looks like Fearless Leader just made it in time to catch the end. But this is what's cool, because this is what it's always been. Again, it is the modern day equivalent of getting together with some friends and listening to music, although we can't listen to music, right? It's all around us and we can't listen to it. But we talked about listening and doing this earlier. So, but fantastic, guys. Thanks so much. Hopefully some will take away from what we talked about here. And if they're maybe a little down and they want to get a little up, they'll listen to some of the stuff we talked about. But again, just listen and do What makes you happy? Be happy as you can. I had a string of a number of years where back in the day, I wasn't happy for a while. And then I decided that for the most part, I am going to try and be positive and happy and do what I can to do that. Now, Joanne might argue that sometimes, but I think for the most part, I try and pull it off anyway. So, you know, just try and be happy. And I know that sounds silly, but it's a great way to try and to get through life as much as we can. We all have our stresses and we all have everything else. But if nothing else fails, get yourself a copy of Bob and Doug and listen to the Beer Hunter and play along with the Beer Hunter.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So
let's get yourself some Weird Al.
Yeah, or Weird Al. Yeah, exactly. Any album. Doesn't matter. Get yourself the accordion. Why not? It's only $2 grand. Yeah. Charlie, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. I know it was late getting you on, but I really appreciate you coming on, and it was fantastic to have you and good to see you again.
Yeah, it was a blast. Anytime. I don't know how often you guys are repeating guests these days, but let me know.
Well, we got a whole list that we roll through when we can, so you're on the list now for sure. So you were on the list before, but now you're officially on the list. So
perfect.
Okay, Daryl,
sure.
Good to see you as always. Enjoy those. I threw in a couple that I wasn't sure, but you know that makes it interesting anyway. So
yeah, I mean they're right here. I mean, you know what one actually I'm really excited about was this one, the Rock Power. I like that one.
Yeah,
the Ronco K-Tel stuff. I'm all about. I know a lot of people don't like K-Tel and Ronco and stuff, but I think they're great.
It's a good mix. For sure.
I don't know how much Rob has, but we got to do like a K-Tel show one day.
We could probably do a various show if nothing else. So
various, yeah,
we'll work on for next time. All right, that's it. That's all. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Thank you so much for those that joined us in the chat and chatted along with us. We thank you for doing that. Thank you for those that will watch this later. I don't know if you're watching right to the bitter end of 2 hours and 20 minutes, but if you did, good on you. Stay happy. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Cheers.